This is the Mountainside Podcast, and joining us in studio for this episode is UFC middleweight Cody Brundage. He's recently coming off a first-round knockout and a Fight of the Night bonus from UFC Austin. Cody is one of the most prominent fighters in the UFC and is quickly climbing the ranks in the middleweight division. But above all that, he has an amazing outlook on life. I really enjoyed sitting down and getting to know him during this episode, and I hope you enjoy our conversation. Good to see you, bro.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to it. Seeing all my buddies come on here is a little jealous. So.
Oh, yeah? No shit, dude.
Yeah.
You should have hit me up earlier, dude. I would have had you on in a heartbeat, man.
It's better. It's perfect. Everything works out for a reason, right? Perfect timing right after the big win.
Holy shit, you aren't kidding, man. What an incredible weekend. What an incredible weekend for you, more importantly, man. I mean, Fight of the Night, right?
Yeah, I got another bonus, which last time I won, I was like, I'm going to get the bonus. I know I'm going to get it. And then I didn't get it, and it was like a huge letdown. So this time I was like, I don't know. My wife was there. She's like, F that. You're definitely getting this thing. I'm like, I'm not sure. And then news came through. We got it. So that's always like a cool moment, right? Because I didn't have my phone. So one of my boys saw the message. He's like, you got the bonus. We all went nuts. So it was good.
That's so badass, man. I mean, I was there too this past weekend, man. It was fucking incredible card. So to make it, and there were some incredible fights. So to get that bonus out of that, dude. But for anybody that wasn't watching it, this is a spoiler alert. And if you have Fight Pass, go back and watch it. Or if you have ESPN, I think you can watch it up.
Yeah, I think I've watched it like 100 times.
Hell yeah. Jeremy, you got to pull this shit up right now. Let's go. See what you can find. Yeah. It should be on ESPN. Oh, boom. Right there. So yeah, I mean, from a slam, dude. Like, this is something that is very uncommon, right? Like, yeah. Or it used to be really common, and everybody's kind of gone away from it.
I didn't really. I mean, I guess I don't see them all the time, but in my mind, I was like, they must happen a lot. But mine was the 14th, and the 13th was right before me. So in 30 years of the company, there's only been 14. So it's not very often, yeah. But
so a little record setter there, then, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Which is cool, super cool.
Yeah, hell yeah. And I think. I don't know, man, like being there, I don't think you really caught this on camera, but this dude was from Texas, so not far from there. There's a lot of booze going on during your walkout, right?
Yeah, I thought I'd win him over with my walkout song, but they quickly forgot when they realized the guy I was fighting was from Texas.
Wait, Bobby told me, what was it?
Fantasy by Mariah Carey.
Yeah,
all-time great.
I had to ask, so what spurred that, dude? Is that like something that...
So I walked out my whole career to 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton, and then the last two I changed it to Fantasy by Mariah Carey. I'm just about picking songs that they get the crowd going, right? Like, it's already such a serious thing that we're doing. I don't need to walk out to like something hard to get me going. I just like to kind of have a good vibe and like see everyone dancing in the crowd. Kind of fires me up a little bit.
Yeah, I love that because it's not the norm, right? Normally, like, I think Guida came out to like Pantera. Yeah. Your opponent Reese came out to Johnny Cash. Yeah. So it kind of breaks the mood a little bit. It's not what you're used to hearing.
I like Dustin's a lot too. Running Down a Dream is one of my favorites, man. I hear that when I walk out. I'm like, that's one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, Tom Petty was the man, dude. Tom Petty was incredible artist.
That's what I've heard.
That's a bummer, that one.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, man. I actually got to work for him.
That's awesome.
Back in the day, and he was awesome person too, like genuinely like
it's always better person. When it's like that too, right? Like totally. You have everything in the world at your feet, but you're also a good dude, good human. That goes so much further, I feel like.
100%. Like, I was a fan of him before I worked for him, and then getting to know him, I was even a bigger fan, like, and he brought it like every night, no matter what city we were in. He fucking crushed, dude. That guy was a savage, man. One of the greatest of all time, in my opinion. So yeah, back to
I'm always learning something new about you, dude. I had no idea that you were.
Oh yeah, I did a short run with him. I was replacing somebody on the tour that couldn't make it because he had a pretty set crew.
That's what I imagined.
And it was a production manager that I had worked with in the past, and got to do a little stint with him. It was awesome. It was about, I don't know, it was a U.S. little run. We did America. It was cool.
Sweet. That's fucking rad.
So yeah, dude, going back to this, I mean, right in front of the commentators too.
Oh yeah, that's an interesting thing too. Like listening to what they're saying.
I was going to ask you
saying
about
like,
that.
This is what he should be doing here, and you're like, well, I don't really think this is what I want to do. You're like disagreeing. Like I think he hits me with an up kick in the fight, and then everyone's like, oh, that hurt. And his coaches were screaming. They're like, he's hurt. I was like, no, I'm fucking not. I'm like having a conversation with them. I'm like, I'm good.
Well, it was crazy because I went back and watched this after the fights too this weekend just to catch it because it's so different being there in the audience. Like you don't hear any of the commentators. It's almost kind of a quiet environment, especially during the prelims. You know, it's not like...
Which I will say,
it's
like...
super cool.
I will say I've been the first fight on a card with fans, and it's like dead. But I felt like there was a pretty decent crowd by the time I got out there,
crowd,
which was,
you
know, shout out Austin. That's good because a lot of times people don't show up to the main card or whatever, and that's kind of a bummer, you know, when you get out there and there's no one out there. You're like, oh shit! Dude, crowd.
The place was at least 3/4 of the way full by then, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you were the last fight on the prelim card, weren't you?
One before, I think.
Before?
The girls were after me, but it was towards the end of
Dude,
that.
I mean, as a fan, as a spectator, the UFC is doing it right, man. You really get your money's worth. I mean, if you start at the beginning of the prelims, I think they started at like 3:00 that day. I mean, you're there for 5 or 6 hours on one ticket, right? Like,
and it never feels like you're just sitting around either, is the thing. Like, I feel like the biggest thing, other than the talent that sets the UFC apart from all the other promotions, is just their pacing and, like, the way they broadcast, their production value. Like, PFL has great fighters, but trying to make it through a whole PFL card is almost painful because it's like we'll sit around for 30 minutes waiting on a fight to happen. I feel like very rarely are you seeing that with the UFC. You're never like, what is going on right now? And even that card, like, because I feel like the timing of that card was even a little different because of all the features, right? Like, because it was Jimmy V week, and so we had Coach's feature. We had that Elias.
that was so badass, by the way,
super
man.
cool. I told Coach after we watched that, I was like, bro, there's no way we're gonna lose tonight. I don't care what I have to do. There's just no way this is gonna be the only moment tonight. Like, we're gonna have to build on this, right? Like, and he's like, yeah, I know. I knew we were gonna win. I'm like, good, because when I told you that, I was probably 50-50, but I thought I'd win.
Yeah, that was so awesome, man. I was sitting in the stands by myself at that point, and I was up there welting up, trying not to like shed a tear. You know,
Yo, he said it to me, and I'm sitting in my garage. And I'm watching it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Bobby, I'm a pussy, dude. I'm like losing it from the video that he sent me.
Yeah, man. I feel like
tight,
I
man.
saw a lot of people crying. I know my wife was crying in the stands, and just like to know coaches to love him. So I feel like
100%.
And he's like, I feel like his daughter said it best. Like, you would never expect anything like that to happen to him. He seems like untouchable. Like, he's the man. Like, he's in great shape. He takes care of himself. He leads from the front. So when like all that shit happened, it was like, what, like, who? And then you start thinking like, well, if this can happen to him, then it can happen to anyone. You know what I mean? And so then for him to just kind of tell his story, and it was such a story of like hope and perseverance, and you know, and the way that story has gone so far has obviously been very positive, and hopefully it stays as positive as it has. But yeah, it was cool, and I feel like it was inspiring to a lot of people. And then, you know, I wasn't out there, but they were playing it backstage right before I fought. They put on the Elias one, and I actually called Elias's last fight. Did his commentary when he fought in Colorado. It was his last fight, and it was just crazy, man. That guy was, you know, barely older than me, and it just happened quick. But to watch that before I went and fight, I was like, on one hand, I was like, this is horrible and sad, and on the other hand, I was like, how fortunate am I that I get to go do this? You know, because there's a lot of like crazy feelings before you go fight. You're like, shit, am I ready? Do I really want to do this? Like, this is scary. All these like crazy emotions because you're fighting that fear. And then when I watched that, I was like, well, I'm lucky. Regardless of what happens, I'm getting the opportunity to do this. So that was kind of a good thought. I felt like going into the fight that I don't normally have. So while it was sad, it was also inspiring, even though his story didn't necessarily end up like, you know, how Coach's has. So.
Well, both of those stories are crazy, man. And yeah, Elias's is heartbreaking, right? I mean, because he didn't make it through.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy. And then Jara was kind of telling us like she was sitting near his family and talking to his family and just hearing their perspective. And it's just sad, terrible, sad situation. But
it really is, man. You never know. I mean, it's 1 in 3 people get cancer.
Yeah, I mean,
we
all know somebody,
That's
and it's not even
crazy.
just that you know somebody. You probably know multiple people, and you're probably close with most of them. Like my dad had thyroid cancer, Coach, you know, like there's just, you know, everyone knows multiple people that are affected by cancer in different like varying stages and levels. Like one of my best friends back in Michigan, he's a little older than me, 3 years older than me. He just got diagnosed like 8 months ago, maybe, a small cell carcinoma, stage 4, like. And he's just been in the treatment room. And you know, he he's so positive, but I know it's not easy. Shout out Joe if Joe watches this, but he's one of the toughest, most badass dudes I know, and he always has a smile on his face. But I know that shit's not easy at all because like you said, it's 1 in 3, and it comes out of nowhere. It's not like.
And it doesn't really matter how good a shape you're in or what kind of lifestyle you live. Like, I mean, bringing it back to Coach, like, he's inspired so many people, man, myself included. He's just an inspiring guy to be around. And
he was inspiring.
I mean, really a mentor. Right? Yeah.
And then you figure out, oh, you got cancer and was doing all these things. The craziest thing about Coach's cancer was that, like, they told him, like, oh, you've had this for 1.5 years, 2 years. And
really?
He was on, they told him, like, hey, you're lucky because if it went another 2 years, that thing's terminal. Like, it gets too big, we can't operate, you're fucked. And he'd already had it for 2 years. But during that 2 years, I tell him all the time, I'm like, just think about all the shit you were doing while you had cancer, like unknowingly. Like, he's on the mats with us every day. He's
hunting,
he's leading the runs.
Like, going to Alaska, all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah,
right?
It's wild. And like you said, he's a super inspiring dude anyway. And then that on top of it is just, adds to the story, I guess.
Yeah. And it's pretty wild how he found out too. Like the whole bee sting that turned into staph, or he probably wouldn't have. I mean, thank God for that, really. I mean, it's almost like a sign from God.
Yeah, and thank God that he's kind of stubborn too. Because as soon as that staph was blowing up, I was like, you need to go in right now. He's like, nah, fuck it, I'm going to be fine. And then he let it get huge. His leg was like the size of his thigh. It was one size the whole way down. And I think that's probably why he was in kidney failure, because the staph got so bad. So that's why they probably went and looked at it. You know what I mean? Like, if he would have gone in when he should have, they would have been like, oh, easy fix. But he waited till it got to the worst, and then he had all these extra complications that ended up revealing the cancer. And then,
oh, that's a great point.
Yeah, it was kind of wild seeing him in the hospital, and the whole team would go through and see him. Like, that guy, I'm sure the people at the hospital were like, who the hell is this guy? Like, he had tons of people there, and I remember like seeing him. I think it was Wednesday, and he was flying out for Chris on Friday, and I was like, dude.
With a cane?
Yeah, I was like, bro, don't do it, man. And Chris would have understood. It wasn't like, but it was like, bro, you've got a lot of shit going on right now. Like, you're not healthy. You're still kind of delirious. You've been in this hospital for a week, and his wife.
I'm pretty sure the doctors told him not to.
They told him not to. They told him if he was going to, because like very quickly, they're like, don't fly. It's not safe. He's like, well, I'm going to do it. And they're like, okay, well, if you have to do it, here's the things you need to do. And he, what a memory that was too. Like, just for everybody. I remember crying that night too when Chris slept Frankie and just like
on my couch crying, dude,
knowing everything that went into it. It's crazy.
After fight speech,
yeah,
it's incredible, man.
Yeah, and so I mean, fighting is such a cool thing, right? Like, I feel like people that don't, like, if they just see it on face value of like, oh, you punch people in the face, but like the memories and the things that happen and the inspiration that you get in your life that I've got in my life from fighting is pretty incredible.
It's totally incredible. And not only that, like, it inspires me to be a better person. Like, having you guys sit across from me, having Mark sit across from me, anytime that he's in here, I go out of the thing going like, God, I need to do a better job. And I'm jacked up to go do that better job, right? Like, he's just that sort of human. And then getting to know a lot of his fighters and some of the fighters that we've had in, not even from Factory X, but a majority of the people that we have on from your guys' community is from Factory X, right? And it's just like every one of you guys is just an awesome person to be around. Like, I haven't had a bad experience. Like,
and I think that is a testament to Coach too. Like if it was somebody you'd have a bad experience with, they're probably not out at the gym. They were there for a short time and they're gone, because those guys just don't last. Like, there's definitely tons of dickheads in MMA. Like, I'm not saying everybody you meet's awesome, but like you said, Factory X is different. I've been at a lot of gyms from when I was an amateur to a pro, and seen kind of the world in terms of all around. Just because when I first started fighting, my wife was in the UFC, and so she would take me with her, and I could do all these experiences and meet all these different people from different places. And Factory X is one of one, man. There's just not much culture out there like that, where we're in such an individual sport, but everyone cares about everybody else's well-being. Everyone supports each other like fully. No one has this mindset of like, well, you got something I should have got. It's like, well, you got something, I can get something too. And I think that goes a long way, and it's not, like I said, it's super not common. Usually it's like, oh, your success means that I'm going to have failure. And I feel like we all believe that the more success my brother has, the more success I'm going to have. And I feel like that's part of the main themes of the culture, and that helps you to be a positive and good person because you're just hoping for the best for people.
It's really a team mentality, right? And like these challenge coins, like we have a bunch of military coins sitting here. Then there's also one from Factory X, which is super cool. The whole dog tag thing that you guys walk out with. I mean, it's kind of that we're all in this together type mentality, dude, which I think is so cool. And I mean, I've felt that support on my end too. Just, I'm a nobody, dude. I'm a podcaster, right? Like, and I've felt that support from you guys, which has been super rad.
Yeah,
so
100%.
I'm very grateful, very thankful that I ran into Mark at a bow shop.
Nice.
You know, and just recognized him. I was like, hey, buddy, what's going on? And then we started shooting the shit. And then a few years later, I had the podcast. And so
him and DJ are both that kind of guy. I feel like I always joke with Dustin because I'm fortunate he brings me out for all his fights to corner, and he'll be getting calls all week. And I'm like, who's that? He's like, oh, it's my best friend from 3rd grade. I'm like, dude, how you getting? Like, I remember one time we were at one of his fights and I met some random guy. He's like, hey, how do you know Dustin? I'm like, oh, I'm his teammate. I corner him. How do you know him? He's like, I was his Uber driver one time. I'm like, flew out to Vegas to come watch this fight. You're an Uber driver? I can't even get my parents to come to my fights, bro. That's crazy. So I always tell Dustin, like, that's just a testament to like how good a dude he is. And like,
he's a great dude.
He's the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
He's that dude. Everybody wants to know him, and everyone that knows him loves him. And I just think it's hilarious. Every fight he has, he's got like hundreds of people there. I'm like,
yeah,
just
shout out
you're the
Dustin, man. Like, yeah, and he's a guy that just doesn't pass up an opportunity, I don't think, either. Like, I've invited a bunch of guys up to the archery range that I go to. Dustin's the only one that's really showing up and was like, let's fucking go, dude.
Oh, yeah. And he's probably amped, too, when he gets there.
He was. And he shot fucking great. We had him shooting like 100 yards at an antelope and shit. And
I believe it. I always tell him, I'm like, bro, if you weren't one of my best friends, I'd hate your guts. You're too good. You're good at everything we do. I hate it. I have no bullshit. I saw him. They like made up a game. It was basically like bocce ball. We got some party. They like made some game up. It was on the spot. Dustin's the best one at it. I'm like, this isn't even a real thing, dude. How are you the best at it? He's like, I just got it like that. But yeah, he definitely doesn't pass up any opportunities. And he also is like, you know, he's a mentor to me because he's older. He's been through it. He always says been through it to get to it. And, you know, I take a lot of what he says and, you know, it means something. And I feel like because of who he is and what he's done and leading by example and never passing up opportunities, it's like, okay, I can do that. And then like the other thing is seeing him, the way him, and not just him and coach, but the way everyone at Factory X treats people. Like before I got to the UFC, I was like, okay, and you should do this regardless. But I was just like, everyone knows them, and like the staff, everybody knows them. Everybody takes care of them because they treat people so good, right? Like they don't treat anyone like the low man on the totem pole. They don't treat anybody poorly. And so I was just like, that's how it's got to be. Because you see a lot of fighters that are like, I deserve this, so go do this, right? They're like disrespectful or not cool to the staff. And I was like, and you could tell like the staff's like, fuck that guy. But like with Coach and Dustin and Chris and Jonathan, all these people, like they're just loved. I feel like our gym is loved, and you know, the staff and them are probably supposed to not be biased, but I felt the love after my fight for sure. And I feel like that's just another testament to the culture and treat people right.
How you want to be treated, man.
100%.
Like, that's the golden rule, man. It should be one of the golden rules. I mean, it shows too. I mean, even off camera, you know, after coaches, you know, was it the V? I'm sorry. What was the
Jimmy V week?
Jimmy V week. Yeah. After the Jimmy V week piece, you know, even after the camera shut off and they're at commercial break, like Bruce Buffer's over there giving him a hug and stuff, you know? I mean, that says something right there, right? Like,
yeah, he's got a lot of respect, and it's because he gives a lot of respect too, you know? And, yeah, it's just a great mentor, and he's been there for so much for fighting. It's awesome, but, like, me and Coach are really close because of the shit that we've gone through in life, and, you know, I feel like when I moved out here, I didn't really have any family out here. My family's from South Carolina. My wife's family's from Michigan. But we knew, like, hey, I'm going to pursue, if I'm going to make it as far as I want in fighting, this is where I want to be. And I was fortunate that I had met Coach, like, years previous when my wife fought at the Pepsi Center. And we had just kept our relationship going. And so when it was time for me to move gyms and find a new spot, he was like, yeah, come here and we'll make it work. And the day we got here, we found out we were pregnant, and, like, moving when you don't have kids is way different than when you do, right? But we were already here. So it was like, okay, we're going to have to figure this out. And, you know, Coach I have a great relationship with my family, and so does my wife. But, you know, Coach has been my family out here. His family's been my family. And when I'm gone, like I've been gone before and his wife is gone with my wife to doctor's appointments, or stepped in and been mom, you know, because we didn't really have that here. And so I feel like our relationship is huge from fighting. We've done a lot of cool things, but life, it's been more important and more impactful, I think.
Yeah, so in and outside the octagon, man, it's full circle.
Yeah, 100%.
To the point where you believe in it so much, you got it inked up, right, with the Factory X logo.
Yeah, I got it tatted on me for sure. It's like the brand.
Yeah.
Know? So I felt some of my tattoos, you know, I like all my tattoos. I don't know if I was the most confident about all of them, right? Maybe some of them were bad decisions, but that one was a good decision for sure.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. So going back to this, I had some questions for you for this past weekend. So we're sitting there and I went back to watch this, and you're right in front of the commentators. Can you hear what they're saying or what they're commentating? Because I think at one point Michael Bisping was like, oh, Reese should try an up kick here. And he did, right? Like shortly after that.
Yeah, you can definitely hear what they're saying. And it takes everything in me sometimes to like stay focused on what I'm doing and not be like chatting shit with them, you know?
Right. Well, you were winking at him a little bit or something,
like
right?
When he up kicks me, I'm smiling at him and letting him know that it wasn't as bad as it looked, maybe.
That's crazy to be that composed in that sort of element.
Yeah, and I could hear his coaches in the other corner kind of talking a little bit of shit, you know, he's hurt. I'm like, no, I'm good. But yeah, it's interesting what you pick up on when you're in there, what you can hear. I can hear the commentators. I can usually hear coach pretty well. And then like I'll just pick up random people in the crowd sometimes and the dumb shit that they're saying.
Oh, dude, I was definitely yelling. I was like, show this motherfucker what's up, Cody, or something. Like, I would think I was the only guy in the stadium or in the arena yelling for you at that moment until right there.
Oh yeah, then everybody flips so fast,
dude,
right?
Yeah. It's crazy how the cards turn, right?
When Dustin fought that Russian kid in Kansas City, it was crazy. You walked out, everyone's like, USA, USA, and then he gets dropped and everyone's cheering for the other kid. I'm like, MMA fans are crazy, man. They don't give a shit. They just want to see violence. Yeah, my buddy, one of my buddies from Michigan was there, and he was sitting around like all Texas people, and they were just like, this kid's gonna kill him, blah 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 blah, and he's just sitting there like biting his tongue. And as soon as I win, like those people were like kind of looking like deer in the headlights, and he's up screaming. They're like, what the hell? Yeah, he's like one of the only guys rooting for me.
Yeah,
so.
That's kind of how it was in my section too. They were like, oh shit, all right. So yeah, what an amazing weekend, man. What an amazing venue too. That place is
it was super
incredible,
nice.
right? It's only a couple years old, I think.
That's what they were saying.
I hope they do more fights there. I'll go back down for some.
I hope they go. Yeah, I just hope we get out of the Apex. I think it'd be cool to go back to Austin, but just like do it somewhere, man. I hate the Apex is rough. It's
is it?
It's kind of a buzzkill. Like there's some people love it. Like Alex Hernandez loves it. I fought there like 4 or 5 times. It's just not my vibe.
Yeah, you have had a lot of fights there, huh?
Yeah, I've had 3 with fans and then 5 without them. Is it because
the crowd's not there, or isn't the octagon smaller too?
The octagon is smaller, and then there's like 200 people in the stands, but it's just, I don't know. I just not my vibe really. I don't really like it too much. But they make so much money from doing it. I don't think that they're gonna change it. I wouldn't even care if they just went like how they used to do and go like to the old Hard Rock or something. And they only have like 2,000 people, but at least it's a venue.
Dude, MGM, man. I mean, that place has so much history, like with boxing and MMA in general, like, and that's an awesome venue. I know a bunch of the staff in there, like
they could bounce around too. There's so many places. I saw Dana said they're gonna do the Sphere.
I've been seeing that.
That's gonna be pretty insane.
It's pretty wild, man. Like,
I don't even know how they'd set the cage, or it'd be interesting because I can't remember the last time they did a show that was like.
It would almost be like a theater. It'd be like a theater setting, I think.
Yeah, because you couldn't put it in the middle.
Yeah,
you'd have to put it.
But the crazy thing is, I was there a couple weeks ago, and I don't know how they process the video and whatnot. I'm not that much of a nerd or a geek when it comes to live production, but it is breathtaking, man, because it's 360. So they could almost do like 2 IMAX screens of you guys fighting, and then there could be some crazy. Wild.
I saw
shit
somebody there
the
like
walkouts would be fucking phenomenal, dude.
Oh yeah, and then I heard like somebody's idea was like set like the background like every fight has a different like ancient like the Coliseum. Put the background as the Coliseum or some shit like that. I'm like, that would be kind of dope actually if you like changed it up for each fight. They're gonna have to blow the roof off the place. So that card is probably gonna be unreal. I can't imagine like the main event and he said Mexican Independence Day is when they're gonna do it. So
really,
yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be rowdy. Shit, maybe Raw Dog versus Moreno too after he wins this belt.
Go, dude. Yeah, after he wins this belt, coming up just around the corner, man. Like, so pumped for him.
Oh yeah, that kid. Like, I
might actually be going to Vegas for that.
Too, I'll be out there if you are. Hit me up.
Hell yeah,
we'll definitely link
for sure.
Up. But yeah, Brandon, you know, he's been there since he was 15 years old. You know, he's homegrown product for sure. And Coach always talks about how he used to skip class in high school and ride his bike there to do jiu-jitsu. I'm like, if there's one kid that deserves to win a world title, it's that kid for sure. He works his ass off. So I'm excited for him. I like the fight for him too, man. He's looked really good in training camp. And, you know, I feel like he's improving, which is when you're a top guy in the world and you're getting better. Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing to see.
Bring it back. And that's an incredible card too. That's something.
Oh yeah, that card's gonna be really good. I'm pumped.
Even if you're not a fan of the UFC or MMA, I highly suggest watching it. Go back, watch Cody's fight. That was awesome. That whole card was awesome. And then, definitely watch the one coming up here on the 16th, man. It's going to be fireworks.
Yeah, pretty soon we're going to have it. So you just got to watch every card. Like, we got co-main and main next week.
I'm already that way,
just
dude.
watch them all. Factory X is taking over, man. Watch every fight.
If I could ever get Dana's ear business-wise, I have some ideas. Some of the venues that I've played in, like, South America and Europe.
That'd be cool.
Like, there's this spot in Verona, Italy. It's called the Arena, right? Okay. It was the very first arena. So, and I can't remember if it's older than the Coliseum or if it's the same age. Hey, Jeremy, can you kill the volume on that? Would you mind looking up the Arena, Verona, Italy? So this place is badass, dude. I mean, when you go underneath, there's still like the prison cells. There's lion
like
cages. There's like this old elevator system in there to like bring them up on the floor.
Okay.
And the fans fucking insane there, dude. This city loves live events. So it's set up as a concert venue now.
I mean, that would be dope.
It was so badass, man. It is one of the coolest cities, and it's where like Romeo and Juliet supposedly took place. So like you can go to Juliet's balcony. Like definitely if you end up going here, take the wife. But yeah, man, it is amazing. I think, I mean, to pay homage to just warriors, man.
That would be sick. Yeah, I mean, I'm so surprised. Like, they don't, I feel like they have their spots, right? They go to London. They hit Liverpool every now and again, which, like, I've been to Liverpool. It's not a great place, right? And I feel like there's so many cooler places they could go and do fights. Like, London's cool, don't get me wrong, but, like, they just started doing Paris. But, like, they never go to, like, Germany. They never hit, like, Spain. And they have stars from those places. Like, Ilia Topuria is from Spain. But, like, you could build a fight night card around him. Yeah. And other European fighters. Like, they say they're going to go to Africa. I don't know where they're going to go in Africa.
Probably Cape Town or something. Think, right? Or Joburg. But I think, dude, Cape Town is one of the most amazing places on earth. Dude.
But let's do it. Like, let's go to these places. Like, fuck the Apex, man. That's part of, like, fighting's so cool. I love it. But, like, part of the reason I really got into fighting was, like, I'm going to see the world by doing this job, right? Like, when my wife fought, she fought in Ireland. We went to Brazil. We went to all these places. And then as soon as I got in the UFC, they're like, all right, we're at the Apex. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I want to be here, bro.
God, I was so thankful for that during COVID, though. I mean, shout out to Dana for that.
Yeah, it was so necessary because, like, they couldn't do it anywhere else. So it totally made sense. Like, couldn't hate on it then at all because you were keeping people employed. You're getting us fights. But now COVID's over, so let's
grow out of there.
Yeah. I mean, like maybe do like one a month or something.
There's enough fans. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, they sell out everywhere they go. Austin was sold out. It was like their biggest gate they've ever had.
Yeah, keep that as the TV studio for like the Contender Series. And all that
Ultimate Fighter, all that stuff.
Fighters.
Power Slap. That's the Power Slap arena now.
What do you think of that?
Shit, man. I feel like there's obviously a market for it, right? Like people like watching it, but it's hard.
The views are insane.
Yeah,
man.
Like, it's hard for me to watch, but I get it. Like I get like people like doing it, and I feel like it's one of those things. Like if the UFC's not doing it, it's Power Slap. I guess it's the UFC, but it's
I just wish there was a little bit more athleticism to it, because it seems like they pulled the guys out of happy hour to go. This is no dig, right?
They do. No, 100%.
It's like I don't know. Even in arm wrestling, there's yoked dudes.
So my wife loves it. She made me watch the whole like first season with her of like the road to the championship. She loves it, but it's just hard for me to watch, man. Like guys,
I guess I have to go see one, but I don't know. It's not
taking heat like that, because
I
like
think I'm such a fan of the UFC too, and PFL and all the organizations, Bellator. Like I just love MMA, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And even some of the jiu-jitsu stuff that they put on, like I don't know. It would make more sense for me for them to put that much money behind something that was an actual art form like jiu-jitsu, or kickboxing would be fucking badass, dude. Cool. There's not like
or they like did like what's really fun and entertaining to watch, and I just got into it like in the last few months, is that karate league.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
It's like in a pit. They make them fight in a pit. And there's like 10 seconds of grappling if you like throw them or something you can do, but it is intense, and these guys can strike, bro. They fucking are good. They're like in 4-ounce gloves, they're karate pants, and they throw down. It's pretty cool to see. But with power slap, it's just tough for me because there's like no skill, right? Like they can say, well, it takes skill. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like you just like me and my buddies used to do that in high school. It's called a slap shot, bro. You take a shot of whiskey and get slapped across your face, like. And these guys are getting fucked up. I mean, look at these guys. Like,
holy shit! Look at that guy's face, dude. Is that swollen from him getting slapped so many times?
Yeah.
That seems stupid as shit, man. Like,
yeah, these guys are getting fucked up.
Hey, man, I might be talking shit on it, but I sure as shit don't want to be slapped.
Oh, I would not do it. Anthony Smith always tells me he'll do it. I'm like, why, bro?
I think it would be really hard for me to control myself, honestly.
You'd have to close your eyes, right?
Yeah.
I guess. That's the other thing. Like I watch sometimes, and these guys, like, I watched one of the guys.
Damn, look at that Samoan dude. That is scary as shit. Look at the guy with the beard.
It is happy hour, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I just saw those guys at B-dubs, bro.
Yeah,
watching the
all those guys have beer guts. They all look like me, bro. Like,
oh, that's hilarious. But he must be killing it, you know.
I guess they are, man, and I guess it's more of like from a social media standpoint, like
like on TikTok and like the reels and stuff, right? Yeah. Because nobody's tuning in to Rumble. I don't care what anybody says. Like to find Rumble in the first place, like to find it on Rumble is damn near impossible. It took me like 3 hours. No one's watching on Rumble, but on their TikTok and their reels, I guess they're killing it.
Yeah.
I mean, not my cup of tea, but hey, good for them, I guess.
Yeah, whatever works, man.
Right.
Dane is not a dumb dude. That's for damn sure. So
no, he definitely knows how to make some money.
He knows what's going on.
God, these guys.
That's crazy.
Man, they look like shit there, but they all look like shit before they fight too. That's crazy.
All right, but let's take some of that money and let's go to Verona, Italy, bro. Yeah. Like, look at that place. So when I was there with the Killers, man, God, it was back like 2009 or 8 or something like that. And so this is pre-pandemic. I mean, the world was in a pretty good spot, so I can't speak for it now. But that place and the fans, I think they just go apeshit for whoever's there. I mean, the Killers were pretty big over in Europe, but it was crazy to the point. I hiked up during the day is when we load in like the full-on production, right? So you put in all the like sound equipment, the drum set gets put together, everything gets put together during the day, and then the afternoon there's a sound check. There was people lined up there like
for the sound check
while we were loading in at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
15,000 people is a huge venue too.
Oh, it's crazy,
dude!
And just the history.
What's up with a venue like that? For like that's so much different than any other place that you're loading into.
Oh, dude, it's
and the gear that you would have to use, like
well, they have a whole infrastructure built, so they actually built like a stage to pull the trucks up to, if I remember correctly.
So, like, is some of the inside updated then to like?
No, not really. So they've basically what they've done, because it's a historic building, they can't modify like the floors or the dirt or. They may have poured concrete in there.
They build everything over it.
Correct. So basically, there's a stage that's outside the venue that you roll, because everything comes on wheels, right? It all comes in semi-trucks. It's road cases. And so it would get wheeled through the right to stage level. So it's basically a continuous stage that goes outside of the building. One of the craziest things I remember there is all the stagehands are like the local labor. So like when you show up to like Austin or something, right? All the guys wear like black t-shirts. I'm pretty sure most of them are on some sort of drug.
Right.
They're not knocking those people. There's some of the hardest working people in the industry, man. These are the guys that are physically like lifting everything, putting things up. Yeah, man. And they're skilled too. Like when you get to New York City, like Madison Square Garden, Local 1 is making more than the road guys, dude. Like they're unionized and they're badass.
They got their shit together.
Yeah, totally, man. And they know what the fuck they're doing, right? So, but the crazy part here is the stagehands were all dressed in 3-piece suits, dude. Like dress shoes and just sweating their asses off, dude. I was like,
man,
oh my God, dude.
What the fuck?
I don't know. It's a thing there. Like when I was walking down the sidewalk.
They're like, where's your suit? They're looking at you funny because you didn't have one.
Dude, I'm like in a fucking, basically how I'm dressed now, right? Like walking down the sidewalk, like people would be offended that A, I was American, and B, that I wasn't dressed properly, that they would
Just
cross
that you were
the street not to be on the same side of the sidewalk.
Speedo Americano.
Yes, dude. Yes. Not very well received there on that end.
So yeah, next year Marvin Vettori, Hamzat Chimaev main event it.
Fuck yeah,
Run it.
let's go, dude.
Dana, if you hear this,
Yeah.
and put me on it too.
Hell yeah. Hopefully Dana's listening.
Yeah, bro. That would be, and like how many places, like this place is amazing, but how many like cool venues like that
just
are
the
out
history,
there?
dude. I think it's older than the Coliseum. Jeremy, you might have to look that up. This is either like, or it's the predecessor to the Coliseum. It was built shortly after that. So they were having actual gladiator events here where people were dying in this place, right? And the people and the culture and everything that's right around it is just incredible. Like the food, the espresso, the wine. I mean, it is fucking top notch. But the fans too, man. The
30
fans.
AD. That thing's 2,000
so
years old,
bro.
That's
It is
almost as old as Coach
so
Mark,
old.
dude.
Oh shit, dude. I hope you don't have to roll with him on Monday.
I tell him all the time. He's very wise because of all his years.
Right. So the crowd's lined up there at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So I hiked up after we loaded in the killers and hiked to the top of it and literally just poked my head over the wall like this. And they went fucking ape shit, dude. They thought it was an artist, or maybe they were just cheering because they're like, oh shit, it's Bobby Marshall, you know? Like,
yeah, what's up?
So then I started taking more of the crew guys up there and stuff, and so we had a good time there. And then so for the show,
40 years.
40 years before, wow.
so it's older than the Coliseum.
That's crazy.
That's fucking badass, dude. So this is where like Gladiator started, dude. Was like,
Yeah, that's insane.
why not do it there, man? Come on, Dana.
That would be sick.
I hope you listen to this piece. So the fans there though too, like they a lot of times at rock shows we have audience blinders. So like when they're playing an anthem song or something like that, or if a song hits really hard with a metal band, the lighting guys will turn on the audience blinders and it basically blinds you, right? Because it's just super bright white light, like brighter than looking at any of these studio lights.
Right.
You're going to see the white light. And it's also so the band can kind of see the crowd too. But these fans were smart enough that every one of them brought a piece of aluminum foil folded up in their pocket, dude. And they literally opened it up and that turned into a lighting dish, bro. I swear to God, you probably could have seen that thing from space, bro. Like everybody held up a piece of aluminum foil. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen, dude. Like,
that's super cool. So you know that there'd be like a live crowd too. Like they do legit.
Hell yeah. I don't know if they could do like the full-on video production there that they need to, but
I'm sure they could figure it out. If they can do the Sphere, I'm sure they could do like anywhere. I have full confidence that if like the UFC's production, they could figure it.
And this would be the perfect place for
their
their
biggest
first
thing would probably
outdoor
just
event.
be. Yeah, I was about to say that's the only thing they'd combat is outdoor. But I mean,
Yeah.
pick a good day. Fuck
Let's
it.
go, dude. I know people that can build ground structures too, Dana. Hit me up, man. I know the people that fabricate your octagons and everything too. So
Hell
We
yeah.
better both be on that gig if it happens.
Oh, we're going, bro, for sure. This is my fucking idea. I'm getting a piece of the fucking coin, dude. Better
yeah.
timestamp this shit right now, dude.
Breaking
Yeah.
news tomorrow.
Hell yeah. But that's what I would love to see. If
Yeah.
I were the boss, you know, that
Yeah,
I'd be doing
100%.
shit like that with my money, man. Like, And, you know, I think that that's the thing, too. I don't think people actually realize how much money it takes to put one of these things on.
Yeah.
From the crew standpoint to the gear, getting from A to B to, I mean, I do because I was a stage manager with rock bands and on the management side. So you're kind of keeping track of that, like budgets, and there's a certain amount of hours that you got to get into, or you start going into the red on certain things, man.
Yeah.
Like,
The
it's
UFC,
crazy.
the amount of money they put in their production is really, I feel like, what sets them apart. Like,
Oh,
they
yeah.
obviously have great talent.
It's top
but
notch,
it's-
man. From the music
Yeah.
to just the whole walkout.
Even like the build-ups, like the embeddeds they do, the
so
the vlogs here,
badass.
even like the stuff that's not necessarily like on ESPN, like
Mm-hmm.
the stuff they run on their YouTube and things like that. They just got branding down to a science, you know. And I feel like that's the reason that no one will ever be close. Because like even the biggest fights in Bellator or PFL, like when do you hear about them? The week of the fight.
It's so crazy. Like I was trying to watch Grant Neal on Bellator a couple weeks ago, or it was a month ago or something. Incredible fight. But I had the hardest time trying to find it, and then I think I had to pay for a Showtime subscription, and then I did it for no reason because it was on YouTube.
It was on YouTube,
So
yeah.
there was like, there wasn't any sort of information. I mean, the UFC makes it so easy. You got Fight Pass, you have
Yeah, and you
ESPN
know about the big
Plus,
fights
like,
2 months before they happen, and they run
Yeah.
press to remind you. And it's just not close. And I feel like that's one thing everyone gets harping on the talent. Like, oh, well, now now Bellator and PFL together, we have this much talent, and it's like that's awesome. But when you have equal talent and one is a way better product, you know,
how big is
for
your
the consumer?
spotlight, dude?
Yeah,
There's a reason why Taylor Swift tours with whatever 200 semi loads of equipment
Hell
and
yeah.
stuff, dude. I mean, that's for a reason, right? Like, you're
Yeah.
going to see an incredible show. It might be the most that
Yeah.
you've ever paid for a ticket. But
you've
you're
gone.
going-
Was that your first show in live, or have you seen?
So I used to work with Monster Energy.
Oh,
so
hell yeah.
I've been at some UFC events, but I was always working. So it was honestly, this was my first one as a spectator. I've been to like some Spartas. What else have I've been to a couple of those bare knuckle deals as a spectator.
Bare knuckles, wild man.
It's pretty badass,
Yeah.
dude.
Kamosi's killing it there, huh?
Yeah,
He's a beast.
Yeah,
I feel like every time they
was
have a
hoping
big
he'd
card,
win
I
this
have a
last
fight.
one, but
That was in Denver, yeah, for the belt.
yeah, so that was awesome. Shout out to the Parkers. I got to go ringside. We went with some Navy SEALs, which was
Oh, hell
super
yeah.
awesome, or some former Navy SEALs that were just recently out, and part of their foundation, Parker's Platoon, incredible nonprofit, dude, like helping so many veterans that could really use it, and not only the veterans, like helping what matters most to those veterans. So like their families, dude.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
right?
Like actually putting it
Yeah.
not just for veterans.
I mean,
but
these
for
are
like
people that have lost limbs serving our country and stuff
Yeah.
like that, you know? So like, I can't shout those guys out enough, man. Parker's Platoon is one of the most amazing nonprofits out there. And I know the people that are running it.
They're based out of
and-
Colorado then, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
So Scott Parker is a former Colorado Avalanche Stanley Cup champ.
Oh, okay.
And he was their enforcer for a lot of years. So he was getting in like 200 fights a year,
Hell
dude,
yeah.
on ice, bare knuckle.
Hell
like,
yeah.
You got to go watch Ice Guardians, dude. Or
Okay.
like, just look up Scott Parker. Like it's
I'll just watch
fucking
his fights, yeah.
incredible, dude. And he is an amazing human, man. Like, I mean, to the point, like if they don't have funding for something that they say they're going to do with this nonprofit,
He'll just fund it.
he'll take it out of his own pocket, you
That's
know, which
awesome.
is pretty badass.
That is super
Which
cool.
he shouldn't have to, you know, like, but
I think maybe
But that's the
maybe this
type of
guy's come
people
through
that they
the
are.
Gym before. No.
Scott Parker?
Maybe not.
Yeah. Yeah, Scott is, and above all that, he's just an amazing human, man. Like he's
Yeah, the
such a cool
sheriff. He's
dude.
come through Factory X
Okay,
before. Yeah.
hell yeah. He's an awesome guy.
Hell yeah.
Dude, that's a hell of a handshake.
Oh yeah.
That dude's
Dude, the guy is
That's a
still
grip,
like,
man,
he's
yeah.
my age, right? He's probably 48 or 49, a few years older than me, I think. And like when I went to go bro down with him at the end of our podcast, it felt like I was slapping two steel I-beams where his lats. I mean, it was just fucking incredible, dude. Like he's still in just badass shape, but the whole family's awesome, man.
That's super cool.
But yeah, they should do more UFC events. I think it would be badass to bring some of these guys into them
would be.
too, you know,
Yeah.
or like something like that. Like try to get a bit more of the people outside of the MMA world, like
For sure. You'd think
Like,
they would. I don't know why they
Bring in
don't.
all John Jones brothers, right? Have them. Well, Joe Burrow was there this past
I did see
weekend,
that.
right?
Yeah, I did see that. And then Rogan was there, but just watching. He wasn't commentating, obviously.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's weird. Sometimes I feel like they have tons of stars. Like I bet Brandon's card, there'll be a lot of stars out there. Like the pay-per-view card,
right
they get a
before
lot of people out
Christmas
there.
and stuff.
Yeah.
It's always these end of the year cards, man.
Yeah, for sure. And then I want them to come back to Denver. They haven't been to Denver in 5 years.
What the hell? Yeah, let's go.
I thought I had heard rumors at the beginning of this year they were coming back, but never happened. So
Yeah, I've been watching for the last. When was the last one that they had here?
2018. I was
Seriously?
Here. Yeah, I was
Holy
here.
shit.
November 2018.
That is crazy, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
you gotta. I mean, this is the origin of the actual UFC.
Oh, that's why they were here. It was the 25-year anniversary card or whatever.
Why didn't they do it this year? 30 years, man.
That's what the rumor was. They were coming back, and then they ended up going to MSG for the.
Damn.
It was going to be John Jones, but then it ended up being Aspinall or whatever. But
Huh.
yeah, so hopefully
that'd
they'll
be
come
awesome.
back. I've heard that they have a hard time getting people to come here to fight because of the elevation, but they go to Salt Lake all the time.
Dude, how many fucking people train here?
Yeah, just make a whole Colorado card.
Like, literally, I could throw a stone in Denver and probably hit a fighter, dude.
oh,
Like,
for sure. There's tons.
you
of
got to
guys
be
out
careful going to the bars out here and shit, dude. Like, it's no fucking joke, dude. Like, there's a reason why people train here. And not only that, like, all the CrossFit people, fucking hockey player. I mean, it's insane, dude. The amount of athletes that are condensed in this little area, man.
100%.
So cool.
And then even who did I see the other day? I was at Landau. I saw Brian Shaw, I think. He's like a strongman. He's the biggest human I've ever seen in my life. And apparently
Holy
he's
shit.
training for like a.
Look this guy up, Jeremy.
He's gigantic.
Those guys are fucking insane, dude.
Yeah. Look.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's unreal.
I think-
he's such a big human being, but he's training for like an exhibition MMA fight, I guess, and he's been training with Derek Wolf.
Oh, sick.
Oh, look, there it is. He's gonna maybe he's gonna compete against Eddie. I don't know,
Dude,
But
those guys are fucking crazy. They'll lift like a 600-pound piece of concrete that's shaped like a ball, dude.
it's
Like,
unreal how big that dude is. He's bigger than the rack. I don't even know how he gets in there to squat.
that's crazy. Was he training with Lauren or?
Yeah, he's training Lauren, and then like I said, I think he's doing his MMA stuff with Derek Wolf.
Yeah.
You know, Derek used to train at used to come in and work at Factory X. We coached a little bit, and that guy can fight a little bit for sure.
Derek's awesome human too, man.
He's a beast. Did you see that mountain lion he killed?
Dude, that thing was
Yes.
massive. So big. Yeah, I love the fact that he's
it's him
getting
with
to do
Vinny
what
right
he
there.
wants, now.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
super cool. And he's got a podcast right now too that's phenomenal, man. Like,
Does he?
Yeah, it's
Hell yeah.
really good. You should try to get on his, man. He's doing a great job with it. Yeah, that guy is fucking huge, dude. How much does that guy weigh, you think?
He's got to be 400
pounds
4 bills at
of
least.
muscle.
Yeah, he ain't fat. He's just huge.
Yeah, that is a crazy competition.
It's interesting. It's like you're watching like hit and miss. You're like, oh, he's like, look how stiff he is. But imagine that dude hits you like one time clean. You're probably gonna get fucked up.
Bro, I mean, I'm kind of glad that you're not seeing guys this size in the UFC. Like, I like.
I would
the
love it.
fact
Let's
that
make
they
no, fuck that. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have to fight
Yeah.
him, bro. Make an unlimited weight class.
Yeah.
And make a 230 weight class, and then
I don't-
heavyweight's just
I think
unlimited.
they'd have to build a different octagon, dude. Honestly, bro.
I'm
Like,
down.
it's crazy. So I went to Ice Wars recently.
Fuck yeah, they're
Yeah.
like the guys that were they did like the Untold Story, right? They had
I'm
like
not sure.
they had a whole untold story about
they did?
their hockey
Okay.
team because it was like the mob was like running this team, and the
Oh,
guy
I
who
think this is something different. So this
no,
is
the guy who ran that team started Ice Wars.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
like a mobster's son or something, and he was running this team. They were just paying. They had tons of money, so they were just paying these guys tons of money. And they were dominating this like
Just
B
fucking
league
people
hockey
up.
team, hockey league. Yeah, and then he started Ice Wars. They actually hit up my buddy Colin Anglin. He fought in the UFC. He's a pretty good hockey player.
Yeah.
They hit him up to come do Ice Wars. He's like, "Fuck no, I'm not doing that shit." But
Yeah,
I told
Chris
him he should.
Lockhart was there. I mean, he
It's
was
sick. Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
kickboxer. We had him on. I went up to go to support him, and the Parkers were heavily involved with this.
That's awesome.
But this was crazy, man.
The
And
guy,
they're-
what's his name? The guy who fought on. You know what I watch sometimes? It's a guilty pleasure. Is Rough and Rowdy.
Okay.
You watch Rough and Rowdy?
No,
It's like,
I haven't seen it.
It's like basically like Tough Man. Like Barstool Sports runs it. It's just all these.
Okay.
They get a bunch of. They get
Is
the
it
people
like
from
the
Power Slap.
influencer
Yeah, it's worse
boxing
than
and
that.
shit?
Though.
Yeah.
These guys don't even train, right? They just get in. They do like 1 minute rounds. But the guy, the champ of this, went and did it, and he was just fucking these people up. Diamond Hands or something was his name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think he won
can
the
fight
whole
for
thing
real.
at the one up in Cheyenne, dude. Like
yeah, he could fight for real. They put him in there with like some frat boy from whatever college town they were in. He just ran through him. I was like, I don't know about
So
that.
when I went to this, there was no weight classes, and it was basically fight for the championship. So you might fight 4 times in a night, right? And there were some 330-pound dudes. There was this dude like straight off the reservation, dude. I think his name was Big Snake, dude. Like,
Big Snake.
Yes, look up Big Snake, Chief Big Snake or some shit, dude.
Chief
Like,
Big Snake.
and I was
One
like,
time I fought
that's
a
such a badass Indian name, dude. Like,
I fought a dude one time. His name was Michael, and his nickname was The Monster, and his last name was Johnson. So his name was Michael the Monster Johnson.
That's crazy.
Fuck. Yeah, fights are. It's crazy, like all the different things they have now,
Oh
right?
man, there's so many different things now, like the influencer boxing. I mean, there's so much. It's crazy.
What do you think about the influencer boxing?
I just don't watch it, man. Like, I'm a person that votes with my dollars, and like, if I'm gonna spend money on something, I want it to go to somebody that's a professional at their craft or their sport, somebody that's put in all their hard work. I think it's kind of like the whole Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk thing. Like,
It's weird. It's a little weird,
bro.
right?
Like, yeah, I don't know. It's celebrity deathmatch, dude. I don't know if this
I know
kind
what
of
you're
dates
talking
me,
about.
but like, have you ever seen that show that was on MTV? It was
100%.
like clay animation where basically
Yeah.
like celebrities were just killing each other.
Yeah, it's I bought the Dylan Dennis, the last one, and that did it for me, dude. I'm never buying this shit again. It's so bad to watch.
Even to the point where like I don't like watching the Paul brothers box people.
Yeah.
Like, nothing against them, but it's just like,
yeah,
just do it in professional boxing if you're gonna do that.
I think Jake Paul kind of gets that now. His next fight, he's like fighting a pro boxer, and I mean, he knows he's not going to sell pay-per-views, so maybe he's just trying to actually box, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like it's hard for me to enjoy it because I feel like they're taking advantage of like guys that need money and
100%.
like put themselves in a position like, well, I made money. It's like, yeah, but at
Like,
what
bare
cost?
knuckle makes sense to me, right? Like, that is a different thing. It's a way for some of these guys to go and make some money post UFC career, right?
Yeah,
Like,
100%. And it's a competitive
it's
sport.
an incredible sport to watch.
They train
man.
hard. It's a viable sport. But like when he's boxing like Nate Diaz, I'm like, bro, dude's damn near 40.
Right.
He can still fight, but he's 40 years old. He's way smaller than you. Like, what are we doing? This doesn't even make sense.
God, the Francis and Ngannou recent boxing match. Why am I
That
drawing
was
a
crazy.
blank?
Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury.
That fight was nuts.
That was an incredible. That was one of the best boxing matches I've watched in a long time. And
Oh, yeah.
I think Francis should have won the goddamn decision. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
hands down.
I
in
feel
my
like,
opinion.
yeah, I feel like he definitely gave himself a chance. I mean, I felt like it was gonna be hard for him to win the decision no matter what, right? And it was a close enough fight that I won't say it was a robbery, but I feel like he definitely gave. If people would have said Francis Ngannou won that fight, nobody would have been upset. Nobody would have been like, "Oh, that's bullshit," right?
Hell no.
And the fact that he even did that is unreal because Tyson Fury, everyone's like dogging on him now. They're like, "Oh, he must suck." I'm like, "No, he's probably the best heavyweight we've ever seen in the last 10
Crazy.
years, 15 years. Like
Yeah.
he's an animal." And
Crazy.
I don't know. It just kind of goes to show, I guess, anything can happen. That's one thing people love about fighting. It'll be interesting to see what Francis does now, though. Is he going to stay with boxing? 'Cause
I
he
hope
can
he
make more
comes
money?
back to the UFC. I want to see him
Him
and John Jones.
yeah.
Let's go.
I think John and Stipe will
Maybe
fight.
at the arena, dude.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's run it. I think John and Stipe will fight. And
John's
they'll
hurt
both be
right now,
done.
though, right?
Tore his
I think
pec.
so,
Yeah. But I think they both got one more fight in them. I don't think John Jones wants to fight. John Jones is the best fighter that's ever fought in MMA. But I don't really think where he's at right now, he wants to fight like Aspinall. That's a big
Yeah.
ask. Aspinall's young. He's so fucking fast. Did you watch that
He's
fight?
Italian, right?
English.
Okay. shit,
He's
I
a
thought he
beast,
was-
bro.
Yeah.
He's so fucking good. It's unreal. Like he's probably one of my favorite fighters.
That was an
I
incredible
I
fight.
don't train with. I would say he just like because you don't see heavyweights that are like moving like that it can really like get after it like that typically.
Right.
So
Yeah, I don't know. I guess with all the celebrity boxing, like I really enjoyed watching Francis fight, but everything leading up to it was like, come on,
the
bro.
worst.
Like, the production was
The pacing.
so
that's what I'm telling you.
bad,
Everybody's
man. It was
pacing
so
other than
bad.
the UFC. It's like I like,
Dude,
no hate on baseball, but I'm like, if I want to like watch nothing happen for 3 hours, I would go watch a baseball game.
Well, they just changed the rules
'Cause it
to
was
where,
so-
for that very reason, right? Like,
it's fucking crazy, man. Like it is painful to get through some of these other promotions. PFL, like trying to watch a PFL, a whole card, it's hard to do without like cussing the TV out.
there's
like,
nothing better to watch than a spectator than like motocross, freestyle motocross, and then MMA. Like,
yeah, because all action the whole time.
It is, man, nonstop. But yeah, I think in boxing, just the way that it's going with the annex and like, you know, the build up, like for these big, huge boxing matches, like the production, it just kills it, man. Like that, it was so bad for Francis and Fury. You know who does nail it though? One of the baddest ass entrances I've ever seen was Canelo.
Oh yeah,
on this last fight.
Really?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was in Mexico City. Jeremy, you got to pull this up, man. We got to watch this. This made me almost move to Mexico, dude. I was like, fucking, it is tequila time, bro. Let's go.
That's
God, who is he fighting?
Who was it?
This was a few months ago. Just look up Canelo Alvarez entrance or something like that. Dude, this was fucking crazy. He had like a whole mariachi band and shit, dude. Like, it was wild.
Canelo's a beast. I hope they run that him and Benavidez fight soon.
Oh, go down. That one that's right there, 3 minutes and 48 seconds. Yeah. Guadalajara. Sorry. Dude, Guadalajara is a badass city. I love touring in Mexico, man. It was one of my favorite spots.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was super cool. Probably going to have to go muted on this because of the music. We'll get pulled.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude, this...
Where are they fighting, bro? Let's go fight there. What the hell?
This is in Guadalajara. They should do a fight there. This is an amazing soccer arena. So
it's a whole,
being a
whole
production
ass stadium then.
Dude, that's wide open air. I don't know how the hell they hung this deal. Can you go full screen on this, Jeremy?
Oh, wow.
This was fucking... this was incredible, man. And this was all on Canelo's dime, I think, too, is what I heard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he was getting paid enough. He's all right with it.
I mean, this is nothing. Wait till you start seeing this.
No, there's a ceiling there. Look at this.
No, that's just
it's like a half dome.
It
kinda.
covers.
I see.
It's open air, right? And they hung this giant fucking rig.
Now show his opponents walk out. He just had no music. They made him walk out.
Yeah, I wish there was a way for us just to have music in the headphones or something so you could get the full vibe. Maybe you'll have to go back and watch this.
I definitely
dude.
will. This is crazy. I've never even...
It's unbelievable, though, man. Like, just the whole production. Fast forward a little bit, Jeremy. I mean, this was just the build-up. So then you got fireworks going off. He's coming out.
He's got the crown. Oh, they love him, too,
dude,
bro.
it was
Jonathan
Mexican.
Martinez.
Oh, yeah?
He loves Canelo, dude.
Hell yeah.
He's a hero to them.
Why not? I can't wait to have Jonathan on here, man. I'd love to have him someday.
Oh yeah, he's
dude. Look at all the mariachis. There's probably like 150 sombreros back there, dude. It is wild.
You can't lose. You walk out like that.
Hell,
I thought those
no,
were
dude.
lights. They're hats.
There was like literally 300 people in the ring, and not one of them was white, dude. I'm pretty sure, man. They were all Hispanic, dude.
Yeah.
It was fucking so dope, so cool.
Fuck
It had that whole hacienda just, let's go.
Look at the LED
Viva la
floor.
Mexico, bro. Yeah. So look at that rig that's hanging up there. I think they hung it with cranes because that's a
It has to
wide
be.
open stadium, dude. I've been there a bunch of times. That's pretty wild. Like some of those, there's so many badass places in Mexico City. There's this arena that's shaped like an armadillo.
Oh really?
And the people show up there too,
That'd be
man.
sick.
Like they don't fuck around, dude. Like
They've
those
gone to
cities
Mexico
that have
City
history-
before. I think that's where.
Pretty sure that's probably where they had it. Then.
I think Kane fought where doing that fight. He gassed. Is that like Mexico City's high elevation? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty
yeah, I
high.
think
Guadalajara is high too. It's like
Is
a
it?
mountainous area. The biggest Mexican flag I've ever seen is in Guadalajara on top of this mountain, dude. It's
gigantic.
like
Do
bigger
you
than
think they
any
don't go to
American
Mexico
flag
because
I've-
of the rap of Mexico right now? They're like, we're not going to
dude,
try
it
to
is
fuck with it.
so like in Mexico City when we would go there with a band, the cartels and like the mafia, the Mexican mafia and stuff would get
A percentage.
we wouldn't even sell merch, right? because they all make their own merch, and you could go out and find the baddest ass shit that like the band didn't have.
Right.
So as road guys, we were out in like the little merch alleys, like shopping. Like, dude, you could buy DVDs of the band. Fucking, they had all these off. So I was there with the Killers. So they had all these like Killer shirts that were like written in blood with AK-47s and like just the cool
You were like
shit
buying
that
their merch, like we should do this.
Oh, totally. We wore it like the rest of the tour, right? And it was cheap. I mean, we bought. The band didn't even have guitar picks when I was touring with them, but they had guitar picks out there for sale, autograph shit. Like, I mean, I don't know where they came up with all this shit, dude, but like, you can't even like shut them down. Like, it's just a known thing. When you go to Mexico City,
They're running the shit.
they just don't even bring merch. They just let the cartels and them make their
kind of
money
a
off
wild
of it.
thing, isn't
It
it?
is,
Yeah.
dude. And like, some bands have gone out there, like the productions have gone out there and tried to stop them. And I think somebody got killed at one point.
Yeah, and they're like, never mind, sell your shit.
Yeah, go for it. So
It's interesting.
just certain things, and like going in and out of there.
Because I mean, they go to like, I can't imagine that they don't go there because of that though. Because they go to
no, I mean they gotta
there's
have
places in Brazil they go that are not great.
dude. They have real people that work for the UFC that work in rock and roll and do like. I mean, they have real motherfuckers, dude. Like, I know some of the people that help produce the UFC, and they're the cream of the crop in the production world, dude. Like, top notch,
That's
like
cool.
hands down. Like, that's why the production value is so good. Like, they're spending their money on good people, and there's
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you have to do that. I mean, these are people that have worked for some of the biggest names in the music industry or television shows or, you know, NFL.
They just go
that sort of
poach them
thing.
all.
Yeah.
And then they're running a good
Well,
product.
these guys are freelancers a lot of times too, so they could have multiple gigs, right? Like
doing
one of them
NFL,
could
UFC.
be, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some
I
of them,
realized
for
it was
example, like
7,300.
work for Rogan, Dave Matthews, and then they go and do this, right?
Oh,
and then
wow.
like who Dana gets or who the UFC gets the octagons built by is the same people that build the Super Bowl halftime stage.
Oh wow.
They're the
They
same
should have put a
people
little
that film-
padding last week, man. They missed
Yeah.
it.
Yo, I was wondering in there, do they put mics underneath the octagon or something?
No, it's probably because
I
it was
could
so. It's
hear-
probably because it was so close to the commentary booth. I bet.
I heard Reese's head bounce off that. I know there's like an overhead mic up there, but dude, it was like you could hear like the thud. dude.
Remember
Like,
when Tony Ferguson fought Justin Gaethje,
Yes.
and it was like the first
How
card
can you forget?
with no fan, but it had no fans in that big ass arena.
Yeah.
So like every shot he landed, you were like, oh god. I'll never forget that.
crazy.
That was
Gaethje's
because
a-
he's a dog. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a monster. Yeah, I guess he's a good golfer too.
Yeah, that's what I've
I
heard.
guess Dustin
yeah.
went and played with him. Dustin's pretty good at golf. He said that it's a close game. So
Yeah.
Gaethje
I don't
must
know.
be
Golf's
alright.
not my thing. If you
Me
need
either.
somebody
I-
to drive a cart, I'm really good at that.
I
dude.
go
Like,
out there, but I'm just I'm not very good.
good
so.
drinker. I'm a good cart driver, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's funny.
So, were you a fan of this prior to starting your career in fighting? I mean, let's just dial it back because I don't know much about you. I mean, I've watched you fight for the last couple of years, and that's you've been in the UFC since when did you make it in from the
2021 September.
Contender Series?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I've been watching you since about then, and then I know that you have a collegiate wrestling background, but let's just go way back, dude. Like, I know you're from Michigan, right? Or
I'm from South Carolina. I wrestled in
Okay.
South Carolina all through college, in high school, obviously, and like where I'm from, bro. If I'm like I'm a fighter. They're like, what does that even mean, right? Like, fighting just was not a thing. Like I came from like we called it like the bubble where I was from because
Just off the grid, right?
well, it was off the grid, but also just like such a sheltered like Mayberry type town that I grew up in.
Is it very religious? Or?
Yeah, it's like in the
Kinda
Bible Belt. Yeah. You know, I grew up super religious, like went to church every Sunday, and, you know, I don't anymore, but like that, if you didn't, people were like side-eyeing you, like, why aren't you in church right now? You know?
Right.
Which was interesting. And when I go back, it's not different. Like, that's how it is. Like, my town, super small town, in like a 2-mile radius, there's probably 4 or 5 like multi-million-dollar churches. Like, on
Is
top
it
of
like
one
Southern
another.
Baptist type
There's
style?
Baptist, there's a Methodist church, so it's just kind of spread out. But
Wow.
it was interesting for sure. And my town was like, I think when I went to school, there was like 99% white, upper middle class. Like not where fighters come from, right? Like,
But
it's just
athletes come from those areas because
Yeah.
like it's the only thing that you can do that's really like aggressive to let out any sort of aggression. It seems like
100%.
I think that's why Texas breeds like some of the most
100%.
amazing athletes there
So I
are.
always joke, like, because when I went on Contender, they're like, "What's the worst day of your life?" I'm like, "My parents bought me a blue jet ski, and I wanted a red one." Like, my parents busted their ass, and I had a great childhood, man. Like, it was not hard. I did not have this struggle story
Yeah.
as a young kid. And then when I went to college, I qualified for the national tournament in wrestling a couple of
Twice,
times.
right? Yeah.
Twice, and made the blood round, so round of 12 twice, like almost all American. And I was a fan of MMA at that point, right? Like I would always get the fights, bring the guys to my house. I was like running like a fight club out of the wrestling room. I'd like create fake beef between guys on the team. Like, this guy says he'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
This guy says he'll beat your ass, and then they'd fight, right? But that was as much as I was like training or whatever. And I think like I always like thrived on having a team, right? They were my friends. They were built-in friends. I didn't have to work hard to have friends, right? Because as you get older, like you don't just make friends. Like, it's hard to do. So I had my team, and those are my friends. And then when I graduated college, I moved to Michigan to coach wrestling at the Division III level, and I lost all my friends. So I was like, shit, what am I going to do now? And my mom's like, try like CrossFit or something. So I did CrossFit for a little bit. I was like, this is fun, but like coming from wrestling to this is like I was missing something. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to train at an MMA gym, right? And I was like, I don't know if I'll ever fight, but I'll train and see what's up with that. And like my first or second day at that gym, like it's like when people are like, what are you gonna do when you grow up? I'm like, I'm in the NFL. They're like, well, no, you're not. So, but that's kind of how it
Right.
seemed. Like, I'm not gonna make it to the UFC. What's the point of fighting if you're not gonna be at the highest level? For me at least. And so, and also I didn't even know what that looked like, right? I didn't know like what a regional fighter was or like how many. I didn't know anything other than like I'm gonna just train a little bit and see what's up. And it's not as far off as you think, right? As far as I thought, like to get to the UFC. But I didn't even know the process to get there. So I was like, those guys must be fighting for like 15 years, their whole life, and then they get to the UFC. But so anyway, my second day there was like, it was me, there was like one coach and another person, and then there was a girl doing private lessons with this other guy. Like, she was teaching the private lesson. And she came up to me while I'm hitting the bag. She's like, you have no idea what you're fucking doing, huh? I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, get the fuck out of here. She's like 115 pounds, like 5'3". I'm like, get out of here. And then come to find out that she like was fighting in the UFC.
Is this your wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
She
Shout out Amanda.
She came to talk shit to me. I was like, fuck you. I know what I'm doing. But anyway, so she was my first boxing coach, and she would like, I come in the morning, she would put me through drills. And she would always tell me, she's like, you're going to be really good. Like, you're going to make it to the UFC. And I was like, yeah, whatever the fuck that means. Right. Like, I had no idea. And, she's like, and you're going to owe me 2%. So I want my 98%. I want to go back to that deal, because that's not the deal
Now
anymore.
she gets 100,
Yeah,
right?
now she gets all that shit. So definitely worked out for her. But yeah, she always told me that, and she actually signed me up for my first fight. So like, I was living out of my car at the time. I had a girlfriend. We broke up pretty much immediately when I got to Michigan. So I was living out of my car in the winter, which was a shit show.
And what took you to Michigan?
To coach college wrestling.
coach,
Yeah,
okay.
and I ended up doing that for like one season, and then it was like, do I want to fight or do I want to continue to coach? Because they were like 2 hours apart, the gym and the wrestling school. So I was like, I guess I'll try to fight, because at this point I'd had some fights. But anyway, I was living out of my car. I was like fucking the first like real struggle that I had like really encountered in my life. And Bobby, she calls me. I call her Bobby. She calls me. She's like, hey, you're fighting in Ohio on Saturday. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, I signed you up. We found you a fight. You got to fight on Saturday. And I was like, I don't even know if I have gas money to get to Ohio to fight this dude on Saturday. She's like, I'll drive you. It's fine. So we go down there, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm going to finally do this thing, like
Right.
fight. And she's like, just go in there, wrestle him. You don't need to fucking. I'd only been training for like a month at the time. She's like, go in there, wrestle him. You don't need to do anything crazy. You're a way better wrestler. I'm like, okay. And that, like, first punch I threw, I'm sure my eyes were closed, put it right on his chin, knocked him out. I was like, I'm the greatest fighter in the world. This is for me.
So this is in a matter of seconds in the first
it was
round?
like a 12-second knockout or something
God
crazy.
damn,
And I guess from there, I was just like, I guess I'm going to make it. And I had so many people, like Colin Anglin, he was my best man at my wedding. He's one of my best friends, but we met at that gym in Michigan. I met my wife there, and we eventually come here, but I had so many people that believed in me and told me, like, you're going to make it. You're going to be in the UFC. And I still, like, until I got in the UFC, I was like, I don't know if that's going to happen, right? But like I said earlier, I got to travel the world with Bobby and kind of see everything, and she fought at the Pepsi Center the last time UFC was in Denver. That's how I met Coach. We stayed in contact. We're very like-minded in terms of like needing structure and things like that. And a lot of MMA gyms don't have any structure. And I was finding myself not being lazy, but just not doing what I needed to do. Like I knew I'm not doing what I need to do right now to be where I want to be, right? I might make it to the UFC, but there's no way I'm going to sustain a career.
Well, I think people, no matter what you're doing, whether it's fighting or not, you can sit there and spin your wheels and you can put a ton of effort into it, but it might not be the best effort, or it might not be the best use of your time.
100%.
Right? What you think is good. Like I
didn't have a direction. I'd go I'd go this way halfway, then I go this way halfway. I never was just pursuing like this is where I'm going, and I needed that. And coming from a college wrestling background, it's like you're gonna weightlift at this time, you're gonna practice at this time, you have study hall at this time, you have class. Like it was, my day was drawn out for me, and for me that was great. Some guys like, maybe they do better in the other environment, but for me, I need the structure. I need you to say, be here at this time. And because I'll put the work in. I just need to know where to put it in, right? I'm not the best at deciding that for myself. And so we came out here right before I was going to fight the first time on Contender Series. I think like 4 weeks before. And Colin moved too. He had a fight on Contender Series 2 weeks after me. So we all were like, okay, we got to get out here. I ended up losing on Contender and was like, fuck. I just moved my whole family out here. We just found out my wife is pregnant. What am I going to fucking do? And then,
dude, that must have been stressful as shit.
It was tough, yeah. But coach is like, listen, you lost this fight. If you go win your next fight, how far did this really set you back? And I was like, probably like 8 months. He's like, is that really that big a deal? And I was like, no. And this is when he was in Abu Dhabi. He was in Abu Dhabi for like 6 weeks.
Oh, that was crazy.
He got stuck out there, yeah, because of COVID or whatever. And he's like over the phone trying to talk me off the ledge. I'm like, all right, I guess it'll work. And then I got signed on Contender Series again. Ended up not having to fight it because I got signed short notice to the UFC. And
that's right, because you went on Contender, lost, and then they just signed you because
against Nick Maximoff. So
how did that work out? I mean,
it was crazy. So I got booked against Nick Maximoff the second time I was going to be on Contender. We were both coming back. He had won, I had lost, but neither of us got signed. And then I went and won a fight in LFA, and they're like, okay, we're going to sign you guys. So
Maximo was your first. Was it Maximo?
Maximoff was going to fight me on Contender for the second time.
Got you.
And then he got signed to the UFC because he was Nate Diaz's boy, and they're like, and it was on the same card that Nick Diaz was
training out of Stockton and everything, huh?
Yeah, so I think the UFC or the Diaz brothers were like, you're going to sign my boy. So they signed him, and I lost my opponent for Contender. I was like, what the fuck? And then fast forward, his opponent dropped out like on Wednesday of fight week, and so they called me and were like, hey, do you still want to fight this kid? I'm like, on Contender? They're like, no, in the UFC. I'm like, well, fuck yeah, what do you mean? Of course I do. I'd much rather just get right in than have to fight my way in, right?
Yeah.
So I flew out there on Wednesday and fought him on Saturday,
and you won that fight in the first round,
lost
right?
Lost that fight.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And then the next fight, I won first round submission.
Okay.
But when I made my debut...
Because you fought him twice?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm getting confused. Guy. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it seems like forever ago. That week was like the craziest week of my life. Like, got signed to the UFC, and then my daughter, she has a super rare genetic condition. It's called ALG 13, and I didn't find out about that until like she got her diagnosis while I was in Vegas, about to go fight this dude. Yeah, it was fucked. It was so fucked. I was sitting there on like a FaceTime call, and her neurologist is like, you know, she's going to be dependent on you guys, yada, 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 all this shit. And I'm like, well, I don't need to go fight this dude. Who gives a fuck about this right now, you know? It was the only time in my career that I was like, I hope this fight goes 15 minutes.
Kids are unconditional love, man. It doesn't matter what you got going on. Like, if there was an emergency going on with my kids right now, we would end this and go take care.
100%,
same with yours, right?
And like, it's crazy. Like, coach told me, he's like, when you have your kids, your whole life's gonna be different. And everyone says that, obviously, and I was always like, well, it'll change, but not that much. But it's just completely different, and you get it. Like,
yeah, you can't explain it to somebody that doesn't have kids. Like,
it's hard to even explain to yourself, but like your whole priorities change immediately as soon as you have kids. And so we got that bad news, and then didn't really know what future's going to look like. Thankfully my wife went and got her CNA, and she's like our daughter's full-time caregiver. And, my daughter, she's the hardest worker in my family. She'll be 3 in February, but like she's already doing things they told us she'd never do. Like she can feed herself, she can walk, she can sign. And like when that first meeting, they're like, she's not going to be able to do any of these things. And I was like, wow. Fucking watch, motherfucker. Like, yeah. And I just told him, I was like, I get that. Like
her parents are both fighters, bro. Like,
well, that's why I tried to tell him. I was like, I get the statistics on this maybe aren't great, but the statistics that I'd be in the UFC or that her mom would be in the UFC are pretty low as well. We made that shit happen. So just give us some goals to achieve, and we can go after them.
If you don't mind elaborating on this, just because I'm not familiar with this disease.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. There's only like 40 people in the world that have ever been diagnosed with it.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So there's a mutation of her ALG13 genome or something like that. And it basically like, so my sister has epilepsy, and but she has treatable epilepsy. She's a PA now. She was a Division I soccer player. Like she's lived a pretty normal life. But with Kingsley, she has like untreatable epilepsy. Typically, like they found it's very hard to control the seizures. Right now, she's 1.5 years seizure free. So
let's go.
That's great news, obviously. And one blessing about being out here, like fighting out here is awesome, but like the resources that Colorado has in terms of like physical therapy and just healthcare and things like that have been huge, because Michigan and South Carolina don't have those things. So, but yeah, it's super rare. Like she's probably the only case in Colorado. There's been like half the cases were overseas, like in Europe, and then half the cases have been spread out in America. Yeah.
So you don't even have like a textbook to really go off of or something, right?
No, my sister sent me like some medical journals, like when we first got the diagnosis, and I knew it was rare, but I knew it was really rare when we were meeting with her doctors and stuff, and I like caught them like basically just reading me passages from the medical journal that I had been like looking at the night before.
Wow.
I'm like, so you understand it probably better than me, but we know the same amount of information. Mm-hmm. Like you don't know anything that I don't know. So yeah, it was crazy. And for the longest time, it's given me really good perspective. Having kids in general has given me way better perspective. But I used to think like maybe I don't deserve to be successful or whatever because my life was so good growing up. And then, not that my life is bad now, but then you get some adversity, and all I've realized is that none of that shit really matters. Like, the coach always says, like, nobody deserves shit, you get what you earn. And I feel like that's 100%. Like,
for sure.
I actually believe that now. I used to be like, well, if you had a hard life, it gives you an edge. I don't think that anymore.
I don't think so. I think that one thing that's happened to me in my life is sometimes when you're reaching, like, the highest of highs, I don't know if it's a test or just the way the universe works, like something will happen, right? Like, and it's like something to like, it puts life in perspective, right? Like you finding out this news at your first UFC fight, like it
was so weird,
I mean,
man.
you had to be so torn on like, what do I do?
Well, it was crazy because I was like, oh, I achieved my dream. I'm in the UFC.
Right.
I'm so happy. But then like, what the fuck's my life going to look like with my things that matter?
Right.
Because that's the other thing about fighting. I love fighting, but fighting is so temporary. Like if you have a great career, you might fight 10 years. And that's if you're lights out killing it, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
unless you're Clay Guida.
Unless you're Clay Guida. Yeah. Please don't let me be Clay Guida. Yeah. But if you fight for 10 years, that's a long fucking career, and then you're done with it. And in the grand scheme of things, that's not a ton of time. So something that's so temporary, just gives you the perspective of like there's life after this and there's life during this as well. And like
I think keeping that perspective is key too, and not getting caught up in that going into it. And I can't speak because I've never been there, but I think that applies in anything that you're doing. But I mean, I guess bringing it back to that, like some of my highest highs are like when I've been at the pinnacle of my career, I've had some of the worst shit happen to family members or people around me that I'm super close with, that it's unheard of, man. It's like, it's not unheard of. It's just the timing couldn't be
always, man. I feel
it's like you're almost like on too much of a high.
Well, this last fight, like the week of the fight, Wednesday, my granddad passes away. My family calls me. They're like,
condolences on that too,
yeah,
bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And it's crazy because like it was expected, right? We knew that was coming. It wasn't like some big shock, but it doesn't make it really much easier. You're just like, fuck, And I knew like I need to go home for Thanksgiving, because I don't know how much longer my granddad's going to live. Then I get this fight, and I'm like, I can't come home. My dad's like, it's good. Don't worry about it, but it's hard. But I agree. Like, it's just to your point, like what you're saying. And even like good things, like distractions, right? Like my fight in Jacksonville, I fought on Saturday. I got home Sunday, and then my second daughter was born like midnight that night. Just like, I always joke, like it's never going to be like a smooth week ever. So just anticipate that, and then like just kind of roll with the punches. But
I think you just got to be grateful for what you have and just keep moving forward. And, you know,
I think gratefulness goes a long way. And
it doesn't, I think don't sulk, right? Like don't feel bad. Don't feel sorry for yourself in anything, like ever. Like because there's people that have it so much worse than
100%,
you or I, or like whatever. Right?
I like when I go to Kingsley's like therapies and stuff. She does therapy over at the Napa Center, which they're terrific, right? They're awesome, but not that I'm like, oh, this kid's worse than my kid. But you get in there and you see like some kids that are like worse off, like they have way worse things going on, and you're like, I'm just grateful for what I have, right? Like I'm grateful that she can do this. I'm grateful that instead of being like, why can't she do all this shit? And like, it's not always like that. Like there's definitely days where I'm like, this is bullshit. Like this isn't fair.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
fair though. I mean, that is not fair for anybody to go through, especially with your kids, man. Like,
I'd take it. Yeah. You like, you know, like with your kids, like I told my dad, I was like, man, I would just take this from her and I'd take it 100%. He's like, I know, but that's not an option. So you just got to do it the right way. I'm like,
right.
I know, but
I think the
tough.
biggest thing is not putting limitations on it, right? Because everybody's going to tell you what they can and can't do. And like you've said it here just a few minutes ago, and like some of the nonprofits that I work with and stuff, like some of these people are severely handicapped or disabled. I don't know what the PC word or the proper way to say that.
Right.
But the coolest part about this organization is they don't put any limitations. You want to shoot a bow? Okay. You want to shoot a shotgun?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We'll figure it out, dude. And they hire engineers from Colorado School of Mines to design an apparatus. So a guy that controls his wheelchair with a straw can shoot a shotgun with a straw. Yeah. It's pretty badass.
It is awesome.
Dude. Yeah, super
badass.
cool.
I do agree with that. Like and that's one thing I feel like teamwork of me and my wife is like when I feel like I don't know how she'll ever do this, my wife will be like, we'll figure it out, and she'll figure it out. And then when she feels like that, I can say, well, we'll figure it out. She'll figure it out. Right. Because there's definitely moments of that, like whether you want them to or not. But I do think like just being positive and hopeful and grateful. And then like Coach says, like when we first got our diagnosis, I'd be like, well, what's the next 10 years look like? What's the next 15 years look like? And I would just fuck myself up thinking like that. Mm-hmm. But it's like what Coach told me before I fought. Before I walked out, he said, all you need is 5 seconds of courage, and then you got to reset and do 5 seconds of courage. And if you just live your life that way, it's easy. You can do anything for 5 seconds, 5 minutes, whatever you want to say, but you can do anything for 5 minutes at a time and reset. It's hard to do shit for 5 weeks, even 5 days, right?
Right.
But if you can just stay
little
consistent,
chunks at a time, right?
Win the small moments. And I feel like that's kind of been the biggest shift for like my mentality with my daughter, and kind of the things that she's going through is just live in the moment and be happy, and you know, take it as it is day by day, and don't worry about what the future looks like. Because if we have a lot of good days, the future will be completely different. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. That's a great outlook. I mean, I went through something with my daughter, with my firstborn. She was born premature, like unexpected. I was in Miami at the time, and like fucking on this, I was out on tour with Rihanna at the time, and I got a call at like 3 o'clock in the morning, like, hey, I'm losing the baby. And I was living in LA at the time. So I hauled ass back, got there in like record time from Miami to LA. Like it was badass, dude. Shout out to Rihanna and Chris Lamb and everybody that helped me out during that. But anyways, long story short, she was born pretty early, dude. And we like the chances of her surviving were like slim to none. Because my wife went into labor at like 19 weeks, which is like super early, right?
That's like halfway.
Or it wasn't even labor. It was a tear, and I don't know. I don't even need to get into those details. But it was not good, dude. Like they were like, there's basically a 10% chance that this baby's going to live. And then my wife was like, well, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it happen. Mm-hmm. So literally she was on bed rest for like, until we got to the point where it was like the tables flipped, right? Like it was more dangerous to keep her in there.
Yeah.
So I think they were waiting for like her lungs to fully develop and stuff. And then she was born. And I was like, the whole time I kind of got down on myself. Like, started feeling not sorry for myself, but I'm like, why the fuck is this happening to me, dude? Like, why does it have to be my kid?
Yeah.
Like, that whole mentality even going into it. And we weren't sure if she was going to live when she was born, like that whole thing. And what really put it in perspective is the moment that she was born, they didn't let me and my wife hold her. They just took her straight to the NICU. Intensive care and NICU. Yeah. And then they walked me in there probably 10 or 15 minutes after it. And I didn't even know she was alive. They made me do like this full like wash down, like change my clothes, put on new scrubs. Shit, yeah. Like you had to wash your hands for like, there was a timer. I think it was 5 minutes, like just soap all the way up to your elbows. Like,
and you're just thinking mask, like, let me see my kid. Yeah.
Hair, everything. Yeah. So I go in there and they're like, everything's fine. She's breathing. We have to feed her through her nose and stuff like that. Dude, my kid was the biggest kid in the NICU. Like there was babies like the size of this arrowhead, dude. Like, which is not very big. I mean, it was crazy, man. Like, and that really put it in perspective. Yeah. And I was just like, fuck, dude, I only have to be in here for a month or 6 weeks or however long she was in there. But I think it was 5 weeks.
There's always, I feel like there's always,
like there for months.
Yeah.
You know?
There's always like something worse than what you're going through, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so being empathetic for that. And then like you said, because me and Bobby were the same way. It was like, why us, right? Like, why is this? And like my family, like I don't joke because I think it's a blessing, obviously. It's not like a joke, but I'm like, nothing has like happened in my family bad. I've never lost anybody young before it was their time. None of that's happened, and that's awesome. I'm so glad. But then I was like, I would say that to my family. It would stress me out when I was younger. I'm like, our family, like nothing's ever happened to our family. Like, what the fuck? Something bad's gonna happen. And then when we got Kingsley's diagnosis, I was like, what the fuck? That's it. That's the bad thing that happened. And like, I was like, did I bring this on myself? Blah, blah, blah. Why would this happen to me? And now, like we got the diagnosis when she was 6 months old. And I was out at a fight with Dustin when we first had any inclination that anything was wrong. I was with Dustin at a fight and he's like, you need to go home. I was like, I can't do anything at home. Fuck that. I'm going to stay here. And Bobby's like, stay there, come back the next day. But I was like, what a piece of shit I am for not being there. But I remember thinking like, why is this happening to me and Bobby? And now fast forward 3 years, I'm like, it happened to us because we can handle it and we can give her the best life that anybody could have given her. And I fully 100% believe that. Like our therapists come in and they're like, you know, you guys are some of the only parents that get on the floor with your kids. And like, you're some of the only parents that are doing the therapy when we're not here. And I'm like, part of me is sad for those kids that aren't doing that. And part of me is like, well, fuck yeah, what else would I be doing? You know what I mean? And huge shout out to my wife. Like my daughter, I feel like my wife is a rock star, bro. Like my daughter would never be where she's at right now if it wasn't for my wife. And I feel lucky for that. And where she is, like that she can sign and like, cause she's nonverbal, so that she can sign and communicate somewhat to us is like a blessing. And it just goes back to being grateful even for like little things. And, you know, I told my wife that because her and her best friend had a kid at the same time. So Kingsley was born and then a week later her best friend had a kid. And we saw Cooper's his name. We saw Cooper like doing everything that we were like, why is Kingsley not doing this? But I was like, that sucks. But at the same time, like Cooper does something and it's not even noticed. Like there's no like, yeah, he did this thing, right? Yeah. Every little thing that Kingsley does is celebrated. We're like, oh my God, can you believe she rolled over? Can you believe she tracked a toy with her eyes? Like we got to experience everything to like the next level. Everything that she was able to do was like next level joy and happiness for us as parents. And so I'm like, that's something we should be happy about. That's something we should be grateful for, you know, because not everybody gets to,
that's so rad.
You know, be super pumped about every little thing they do. Right. So I don't know, you try to look at it like with a framework of this is awesome. This is amazing. And then, you know, with our youngest now, she's doing everything so fast comparatively. It's like crazy. It's almost like having,
how old are they now?
So Kingsley will be 3 in February, and then Millie is 5 months. So she's
just recently.
Yeah, and she's like,
I'm surprised you're awake, bro. You need some caffeine or something.
Yeah, bro. It's 2 is definitely different than 1 for sure. But yeah, Millie is. It's funny because she's like figuring everything out that was taking King's like a year, obviously, because it's just different. But it's and like raising a kid that has their faculties sooner and things like that it's like a whole different experience. We've never had that experience. So it's almost like we're two different types of parents. Like with Kingsley, we were different. We had to be different parents than we are with Millie, and it's interesting for sure. But I feel super blessed. I feel super lucky, and some days I don't, but most of the time I just feel super grateful. You know?
Well, keep that positive mentality, dude. And she's so lucky to have parents like you and Amanda. You know, like that's fucking awesome, man. Because I think the unfortunate reality a lot of times is people will check out when it's too hard, you know, and like
100%.
For you guys to step up to the plate and be that rock solid is super badass, man. And yeah, I think just moving forward, like you can't, no matter what happens in your life, you can't let that hinder your momentum is kind of what I was getting at a few minutes ago when I was at like the highest of my highs.
Because there's always going to be something, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like something comes up and, you know, it's like a deterrent or something almost. It's crazy. And I think a lot of people will turn around and go the other way.
Yeah.
You know?
I've definitely been like at points in my life, like when I was younger, where it's like, man, shit just never works out for me. Or like that mentality of like, why can't something just go smooth, right? Why can't it just work out? Instead of just being like, man, fuck it. If it's bumpy, it's bumpy. I'm going to figure it out.
Just leave all that noise outside and just focus on what's
important. Because it's easy to do that,
right?
It's easy to be like, man, this shit's really fucking hard. This shit's a bumpy road. Why can't I just get smooth sailing? This guy next to me, and like that's the other thing with like social media and like the age we live in is like, oh, well, this person, they got smooth sailing. Look at life they're living, but that's not really their life, right?
Well, yeah,
but we have this idea that it is. So then we're like, this is so unfair. Look at this relationship he has. He's always saying how great it is. Little do you know, like it's a terrible relationship, but on the surface of what you're seeing, it's great. And so that's one thing too. Like Coach always says, he's like, don't live on social media. Don't just be present where your feet are. And I feel like
social media is such a it's a double-edged sword, right? Because we've gained so much success. I've forged some relationships, you know, in here because of people that I've met on social media. We've had some amazing guests on. It's been the only way I've been able to reach out to some of the guests that bucket list guests that I wanted to have on. But at the same time, I don't hold any value on it for me as a person or what I'm trying to do in here. Like I've had quite a few people hit me up and they're like, this is my following. It's 1.1 million or whatever. Like, let me come on the podcast. I'm like, no, bro, like it's not what we do. Right. Like I'm only having, I've had like the guest a couple weeks ago that we had in, I think his Instagram following is like 80 people.
Yeah.
So that fucking does not matter to me
That's
at
not
all,
holding
dude.
the weight, yeah.
And especially now, I mean, there's people out there that just buy their shit, dude.
Oh,
like,
yeah, most people.
That's really,
I would say most people. You're like, oh, you have 800,000 followers and 3 comments on
there's
your
something
picture.
there's something about those real followers and that real thing. And that's what
like
we've
I've
tried
had
to
people
keep
hit
it
me
here.
up. I've had like people hit me up after fights. They're like, we want to grow your following. I'm like, well, what does that mean? They're like, if you pay us $1,000, we'll give you 100,000 followers. I'm like, well, are they organic followers? Are they going to comment? Are they going to interact with my post?
Right,
They're like,
but those
no,
people
we're not
don't
going to
care about
But they're
you,
like, no.
dude.
But even that, they're like, no, they're not. I'm like, it's just bots that you're
Right.
going to add to my. Like that doesn't do anything for me. I don't need that. Like, you want to build your brand like organically and have like people that actually give a shit about what you're doing. Like,
100%. Like that's why we've been so fortunate here. Like I think we only have like 3,000 followers or something on Instagram. I don't even fucking know. I don't even really pay attention to it anymore. But I know that those 3,000 people hit that button themselves because of some sort of content, or maybe we had one of their friends on.
You know, they give a shit about what you're doing.
And it reflects, you know, what we do on the outside. Like how many people listen to the podcast actually go on Instagram and fucking seek us out, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I love our page, man. I think it's cool. I'm not knocking social media, but I think people are missing the boat if they think that this is the only way to solidify who you are, or what your status is, or your career.
Well, it's so crazy. Like I was on like a bad run, right? I lost 2 in a row, and then my fight before this last one was a DQ, and like, bro, so many people just like, kill yourself, you suck, we hate you, like just they were saying like terrible shit.
Seriously.
Yeah, terrible
fucked,
shit,
man.
Unreal shit. And I'm like, oh man, this is rough. And then it just shows you how fake it is, because then after this fight, I had thousands of people tell me how awesome and amazing and great, you're the best, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, none of you people give a shit. And I can see it's good because it's like a real life representation like when I see that. And if you can like log that and be like, okay, I don't need to put my value on what is being said about me by people I don't even know. But I mean, because for me, like, it's easy to say that, right? It's easy to be like, oh, I don't give a shit what people think. But we all want to be liked. We want to be.
Oh yeah, it feels
so
good,
it's hard
man,
when people are like, fuck you, you suck.
But you know what even feels worse than that is just fucking when they're making those comments like you should kill
100%.
yourself, you're a nobody,
Dude,
how are you
crazy.
in the UFC, like whatever they're saying, right? Like that is so bad. And you know, I guess for me too is I know we caught you at just the right time, right? Like you even said it in the ring after this, you know, or in the octagon after this. You were like, you know, the sport is the highest of highs, the lowest of lows. And I see you guys go through it, man. Like when somebody takes an L from Factory X or somebody that I personally know, I hate seeing it, dude. I'm like, fuck, man, that sucks, you know? Like, yeah, I feel the pain. And I'm sure I'm only feeling a little minuscule part of it, but
you get it. I try to tell my family that too.
That, right?
I tell everyone, like, when I meet people and then like if I become friends with them, I'm like, okay, when you watch fights, they're like, I watch fights all the time. I'm like, listen though, when you watch fights and you know the person that's fighting, it's a completely different experience.
Oh, it totally is.
Like even like being there in person, like the people you didn't, like when you watched someone that you knew, like when you watch Coach Mark and then you watch me fight, it's like, okay, fuck, I really want this guy. Like you're invested. Like you really
it's
give a shit.
It's the only time I'm in the audience yelling.
You give a
Other
shit.
than that, I'm not.
The other
that
ones
guy.
are just like, I just want to see a good fight. It's completely different, and like I feel that way too. The only time I can like really like try to like separate those feelings is like when I'm in the corner because I'm like, okay, I have a job.
It gets personal, right?
I can coach. Yeah, but if I'm not in the corner, I'm like fucking going nuts, right? Like because and honestly, that's the other thing about Factory X and Markel Medeiros. He told me he just got signed to the UFC. He was in my corner this fight. And he was like, bro, I feel better, I think, when my teammates win than even when I do. And I feel that. Like, when Dustin wins, there's, like, nothing better than the day for me when Dustin wins and we're all taking pictures backstage.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's an interesting thing, too. Like, it feels great when you win, obviously. Like, it feels awesome. But when your teammates are winning and, like, you care so much, it's like, okay, I can breathe. Right? Because you don't want your friend. Like, that's the other thing. If I lose, I know I can go through it. And everyone, I know they can like, too, but I don't want them to have to go through like a bad.
Like the worst thing to have happen is watch one of your loved ones get hurt in front of you, right, or something like that, right? Like you want to take on that burden yourself.
100%.
That's my mentality, anyway.
My poor mom, dude. Like she doesn't really like the fighting. Obviously, like I don't think any mom really does. But
yeah,
she's like, man, because I'm like, this is my passion. I love this, but. Just lately, especially like the last couple, I was like, I'm just feeling like shit about myself when I get out of the cage. She's like, well, quit fighting then. Like, do anything else. Like, don't let it make you feel bad. I'm like, no, because then I have moments like I just had where I feel amazing, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just trying to like ride that wave and like you said, not get too caught up in like the woe is me. But it's not easy.
So was your family not very supportive of it? Like
they're
coming into it?
Oh,
like,
coming into it.
Scared to death or like
when I first started fighting, I didn't tell them I was fighting. And I posted, I think, a picture of like my first face off and my dad calls me. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just in Ohio. He's like, no, what are you doing there? I'm like, yeah, I'm about to fight a guy tonight. He's like, you fucking kidding me? You went to college. You have a degree. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, nah, I'm just going to try it out. And then I called him after. He's like, how'd it go? I was like, I knocked him out in 12 seconds. I think this is what I'm going to do. He's like, fuck. Yeah. And now, like.
Were they supportive of you wrestling and stuff? I mean, obviously,
my dad,
if you went to school
yeah, my
for
dad
that
got
stuff.
me into wrestling and I had 4 brothers growing up and like I played all sports, but he was like, you need to do something where you can get this like aggressive behavior out that's not on your little brothers or at home.
What'd your other family members think? Do you have siblings and
I have
stuff?
4. So I have 4 brothers and a sister. So my brothers, I think it's awesome. My youngest brother, he plays college lacrosse. He's like, I'm gonna come train and fight. I'm like, nah, probably not. Like, don't fucking come do this shit, bro. Like, it's too late for you. Like, I probably sound like how my parents sounded to me. Like, don't do this. But I'm like, do some other shit, bro. I don't want to watch him fight. So I'm like, fuck. But if he wanted to train, obviously I'd let him. But they love it. My sister's like, I told my sister, she played college soccer. I was like, if you decide to come and train MMA, I will quit right now and just become your head coach. You could train at Factory X because she would be a beast. She would be so fucking good. She's like got killer instinct. Like I always tell her, I'm like, you were supposed to be the fighter in our family, not me.
Yeah, you can kind of see it when somebody has that fire, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like I can see it in my own kids. I'm like, okay, you're not really an athlete, but you are in different ways, right? Like you're a smart athlete, but then like there's one that I know that could definitely. She's like a little Jessie Jess, dude. She's just like her. Like, I'm surprised she doesn't have the heart drop or the teardrop tattoos and everything, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, then eventually, like, I think I kept telling him, like, everyone's saying I could be in the UFC. Everyone's saying I can be in the UFC, and my parents are like, fucking no, you're not gonna be in the UFC. Like, that's the NFL of your sport. Like, you're not being realistic. I'm like, I'm not saying I think I can be it. I'm saying all these people who have put people in the UFC say I can do it. And so when I finally made it, I think, one, they were extremely happy, and they were always supportive. They were never like, fuck this, quit. But they were like, you could do other things. You can do other things. And then when I finally made it, they were like, okay, you did it. And then they found out how much I made for my first fight, and they were like, why the fuck are you continuing to do this? Right? Like, they're like, you're still not making shit. And now they're
if you don't mind me asking, how much was that? Just to
I
put
made
it
$12,000. And then I paid.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I paid 10%. Obviously, I paid 10% to coach and 10% or 20%.
You don't have to break it down that far.
Well, I'm just saying. So, like, you see 12,000, but really, I only took home probably $5,000 from that fight.
That's crazy.
After I paid coach, paid taxes, paid my manager. So that's the one thing about, like,
so if you're fighting twice a year, you're not making dog shit.
And if I'd have won, I'd have made more, of course, but not much more, right?
Hey,
like,
Jeremy, would you mind? Do you want another water or something?
No,
drink,
I'm good.
bro?
I'm
okay,
good.
cool.
Thank you.
Would you mind grabbing me one of those Jocko Goes? It's not an advertisement. I just want one. We finally got restocked, dude.
But now,
you want one?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Actually. But now I'm like, they see the $50,000 bonuses and shit, and they're like, this is the greatest thing you've ever done.
Hey, how badass is that, dude? And that was kind of cool. You were able to tribute that to your grandfather too. Like, even everything that happened. And then, like you said, thank you. Leading up to this, I think was it 3-fight losing streak? Basically, right?
I lost. It was basically, I lost 2 in a row. No, I lost 3 in a row. Yeah, I lost 3 in a row. And then the last one was a DQ. Then a lot of people were like, you were losing. You were going to get killed.
But I remember that.
Yeah. So it was like,
vividly,
people were saying like it wasn't a 4-fight losing streak, but that's kind of how people were putting it in that perspective. And I think also, like, the kid's undefeated. He beat everyone in the first round. I was a pretty big underdog. I don't think anybody thought I was going to win except for
you made the right
team.
decision, bro.
Yeah.
You made the right decision. Like,
for sure.
I know it probably sucks being in that position, especially with like the mentality that you're supposed to have.
Well, I was just lucky I could hear coach, and I just felt like, and looking back on it, I'm like, I could have stood up and like got up and fought the kid, but like, should I have to fight at 60% of my capability based off an illegal strike, right? Like, it's just not fair for me to have to do that. Like,
hell no.
So I mean,
not
I feel like,
after
and
all
also
the time that you guys invest.
Yeah, and also I didn't know, like, everybody was giving me shit. They're like, you don't know, and fuck all those people, who cares? But they're like, you knew you were gonna win, but I didn't. I didn't know if it was gonna be a no contest or they ended up making it a disqualification. But I thought it'd be a no contest, and neither of us win, neither of us lose, whatever. So when they announced disqualification, I was just as surprised as everybody. But I said, right after that fight, I'll fight that kid again. Like, I didn't feel anything in there that made me think I can't beat that kid, and so maybe they'll run that one back. We'll see.
Let's go. So coming off of all of that, and then you have a weekend like this weekend, fight of the night, dude. I'm so happy for you. I would have had you in after those moments, by the way, too. So don't think that it was just I happened to be there. And
I'm happier being here after this one.
Hell yeah, it's better, right? It's better coming in here with 50 G's, baby.
For sure, 100%.
That's awesome. It's great for you. It's great for your family. It was such a special night with the tribute to Coach and Factory X in general, man. I super rad. And I love the fact that you were able to dedicate it to your grandfather too, coming off of that.
Yeah, it was a great week for sure.
I think one of the coolest things about podcasting that I've noticed, and I kind of put a lot more thought into this than maybe what it actually is, but to me, I think one of the coolest things is archiving moments, conversations that, like, you're probably having a conversation with me that you and your mom wouldn't have, right? And she's going to go and listen to this, right? 100%. So she's going to see a side of you. She's going to see a different side of maybe a different passion. Maybe your kids will listen to this someday, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So they can understand what was my dad like when he was a fighter, right?
Yeah.
And just one fight of the night. and slam some dude's head off the octagon.
I always joke, like, win or lose, I'm telling my kids I won. They don't know. They can't look it up, so they think I'm undefeated. They think I'm the world champ. So
hell yeah, let's go. But yeah, I guess so. Dialing it back to that, is there something? Because I wish that like my grandfather would have podcasted so I could know like the history of all that. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. So is there a story or something that stands out about your grandfather and MMA, or just a story that you think would be good to archive during this? Or
he was my only like grandparent, like granddad, and my parents are divorced, so I had 4. He was the only one that I was close with at all, right? Like I would go stay with him, and he was a coach. And so he would come to all my games, and he would coach me whether I wanted him to or not. And looking like back, sometimes I'd be like, man, fuck you don't know shit, right? But now I'm so happy, one, that he was just there for everything, like for all my games, for all my moments, and even things like, and I see it in my dad. It's my stepdad's dad actually, but I see it in my stepdad too. He would coach me all the time too, and them together, like working together to like try to make me better. And it wasn't that they were trying to coach me to be better at sports. They were just trying to coach me to be better at life and be a better person. And he was so like, how do I describe? He was just so, I don't want to say perfect, but like the guy, everything he said to do and every way he said to act and how to be a husband and a dad and a coach and a friend and all of those things, he lived that way. So he would never say something to me. I could never come back and be like, well, you're not doing that shit, Papa. You're not doing that. Why should I do it? Because every time he was locked in, he was always doing it. So I just think like, there may be not like a specific memory, but just who he was as a man and how he treated people and how he like led our family all the way through his life was special. And it's something like that I want to do. And I don't know if I will ever achieve that, but it's something to shoot for. So, and it was just, the way he passed was because of who he was and how he lived his life and how he was so smart and on top of it all the time. He had late stage dementia bad, like in the end. And I'm sad that he's gone, but I'm happy that he's not going through that anymore. Cause if anybody has seen someone go through that or Alzheimer's or something like that, it's a sad way to go. He's not suffering anymore, but in his life, he was like the true patriarch of our family. He was the guy that like, if you got a question, you go ask Papa. If you need help and if you need answers, you go ask Papa. If you need something fixed, like he was just a man's man who like, I can't do the shit he was doing. Like he just did so much. He was so well-rounded in life, and I don't know. They just don't make him like that anymore.
Those influences are important, man. Like I grew up single mom, horrible role models for an actual father, but my grandfather stepped up and filled that void, and he's 10 times the man of anybody I've ever met. So like I totally get where you're coming from. That like sometimes people that don't even know that maybe they're only in your life for a few moments. Like Coach is one of those guys. Like he's just like he's a great mentor, man. Yeah. Like just the way you compose yourself, the way what he does, outside of work, inside of work, what he does with his own family. I think like being a father, leading by example is one of the best things that you can do.
Yeah, and I think the same like with my grandfather and with Coach is something like other great men and people that I respect want to impress and make those people proud. Like my stepdad's probably the greatest, other than my grandfather, probably the greatest man I know. He's selfless. He works super hard. He admits when he's wrong, but his whole life he was always, and it was his dad, but he was always, I'm going to make sure that whatever I do, if Papa saw it, he would be impressed or happy with. And so to me, that was like such a thing. Cause now I'm like, everything I do, I want to make my dad proud or make my family proud. And when you live that way, it usually reaps good things. Right. But that's the same thing with Coach. Like if Coach was watching me do this, would he be proud or would he be like, hey, fuckhead, get your shit together? You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you can have that perspective when you're in a back alley and shit's going down or whatever, right? Like think that's super important. Man.
Just avoid the back alley.
Yeah. Don't even go there, dude.
But I do think like, and it's not just with coaching my granddad, but like you said, with great leaders, like you see that like other people that I would consider great or high class want to impress those people. And that's important.
Oh, it's totally important, man. I think it's super cool that you shared that too. I think that it scares me because I feel like America a little bit in general is moving away from that, like the toxic masculinity type thing.
Yeah.
Like the one thing that was crazy about my grandfather, who was my male role model, is he was just jacked, dude. Like, I mean, he was a specimen of a man, you know, like he was an all-American football player and wrestler and, you know, was a firefighter at one point in his life or a miner. And he always had like just this crazy stature and like, all of his friends spoke very highly of him. And then anybody that knew him, you know, so I think that those sort of influences and having that sort of demeanor, and it's okay to say no to shit, dude. It's okay to be yourself. It's all right to be masculine, I think. Dude.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like you said, it's so important for young men to see like this. And it doesn't, I feel like masculinity gets like the people will say it's toxic is like, all these people are like, you got to be this alpha male and all this shit. And I'm like, well, most of the people that are alpha males, at least that I've known in my life, don't run around telling everyone that they're alpha males. They just act.
They do the exact opposite.
Yeah,
that's why I love having you guys in as fighters or former SEALs. Like nobody's in here bullshitting.
Yeah, they're not going around beating on their chest. Look at me.
That's why I love talking to you guys, because you know what you see is what you get, dude. And you're getting a real conversation where when somebody comes in and is just blatantly lying to you about their career or what they've done or what they haven't done,
it's
disingenuous. Fuck, man, it's sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks.
Well, I think like the thing about masculinity is there's like a confidence that comes with that. Like people that are leaders, and what people are saying bad, like toxic masculinity, are people that are leaders and have strong morals and ethics. And there's a confidence with that you don't have to go around telling everybody that I'm the alpha male, I'm masculine, this is how men should act. Like you just do it and people see it.
You just lead by example, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like part of that, like I said, is the confidence of just doing it. And like, you know, I've never once been like, I'm alpha, you know, you don't have to do that. And but I do think it's important. I think it's important to have strong men in society. If you don't have strong men, I feel like it's hard. There's never been one society that didn't have strong men that was successful. So
normally who raises those strong men are strong women, dude.
Yeah,
like, that's
100%.
That's the whole thing of it too. It's like it's not a dig on women or anything. Either,
no, I think you need strong women too. My wife fought in the UFC. Everybody. She's I think my wife's one of the most badass people out there. My mom was a national team biathlon. Skiing and shooting and like,
oh shit.
So like I've had strong women around me my whole life.
Yeah. Like strap a gun on your back and go bomb down a hill and then shoot some targets. Dude.
Like, so I've had strong women in my life forever, but I think we need strong men and strong women. I think like, one thing that society lately, like you said, has struggled with is like this lack of, strength. And I don't think strong means not vulnerable. Like you can be a vulnerable, strong person, right?
Sure.
Right. But I think that's where like people get confused. Like I can be very vulnerable. I can open up about things. I can discuss issues that I have to help people, and that's being strong, right? But like we have this idea in society that like if you say, or like if you're a strong person, then you're against people who want to come out and talk about issues like, or mental health issues or things like that. And I don't think that's the case. For some reason, those two things like get pitted against each other. Does that make sense? Like strong male, masculine vibes or whatever get pitted against mental health and things. I'm like, that's not the case. I think you can be like an advocate for both.
Yeah. I mean, you're a prime example of it with what's going on in your family right
100%,
now, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I think it's just putting a label on shit. I wish people would just get away from that and take it for what it is.
I would say 80%, right? I think 80% of people would agree with everything we're saying, and I think 10% would be like,
no, wait
you're
till you
100%
read
wrong,
the comments.
and your 10% on the other way would be like, you're absolutely incorrect.
Wait till you read the comments on Monday, dude. We got plenty of fans.
That 10%'s awfully loud. Too.
They're
the loudest, right?
Yeah, because they got nothing better to do.
It's the loudest, right? The 10%.
We
on
all
either
know
side
you're in
is
your
always
mom's basement right now, or wherever, some dark dungeon, right?
100%.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's,
like, are you playing Call of Duty after asking us not to be masculine? You know what I mean? Like, what?
It's interesting. And then also just like the concern that, like, I don't know. I find it odd how much people concern themselves with like what other people are doing. Like in general, you know what I mean?
It's because they don't have anything to do themselves.
They're like,
dude.
I think that you, and like when they're doing good things too. Like I get maybe like being concerned, like if your fucking brother's doing meth, be concerned and help your brother out.
Sure.
Right. But like if someone's doing their best to be a good person and be a good parent and be contributing to society, like why are we trying to tell that person that they're wrong and what they're doing is incorrect? Like they're doing their best. Maybe it's not how you would do it, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong either. So I've been lucky, like, because I came from Bible Belt, South Carolina, then I went to Michigan, now I'm here, and I've met so many people, like, especially with fighting, I met so many people from so many different stories and backgrounds, and I've learned to, like, get along with everybody, and I feel like it's such a blessing to not be like, you're wrong because you have this idea, or you're wrong because you have this idea, and just be like, we have a different idea, but you can still be right.
Yeah, just talk about it, dude. Like I've had disagreements in here, and what do? We sit down and talk about it, and it doesn't mean that we feel any different about each other after it's done, right? It's just like
one thing that's crazy.
Me and Jeremy go through that every week, especially when it comes to the ice bath, dude. Fucking, I think my balls touched my eyeballs this week because of this guy.
One thing that is crazy, I was talking to somebody about this the other day in this country, is like, especially around like this time next year, you'll see it, is like brothers and sisters and parents are willing to fight each other over people they don't even know and people who don't give a shit about them. 100%. Like you're never going to convince me either side of this world that we're living in, the higher ups really give a shit about you or me, right? Yeah. They don't, but we're willing to fight our people that we're the closest to in the whole world over people we'll never meet in our life. Like we all do. Every single person does. Like every single person does.
It's crazy.
But it's like, I don't know, that's that like fake world that we're living in sometimes. And it would just be better. Like the world would be better if we were just like, you're different, I'm different. That's all right. Yeah, I don't hate you. I don't think you're stupid. I don't think you're shitty. I think you're just doing shit your way, and that's what's working for you.
And just stay the fuck out of other people's business. 100%. Really. Like, mind your own, stay in your fucking lane, and do the best that you can do yourself.
That is the truth. Yeah, mind your own fucking business, and don't like when I was a kid. If like people were talking, like adults were talking, and I like went to go interrupt their conversation, I was getting cuffed for sure in the back of the head, bro. Like, hey, shut the fuck up. Dude. You're not invited to this conversation.
It's not even your turn.
So I learned pretty quick. I'm like, all right, well, I don't need to butt into other people's conversations. Get your ass whipped for shit like that. So
I think that's probably the real problem with social media is there's no backlash.
And no one asked for your opinion, and you're giving it. Yeah, everyone's an expert too with no expertise. I think that's the problem.
You're not in arms. Reach, right? Yeah. Like Coach said it best when he was in here. He was like, I guarantee you that nobody would walk to Derek Wolf's door and knock on his door and tell him, what they negatively put in his comments.
100%,
dude.
I tried to for the longest, I would just tell, like, people would message me, be like, you suck or whatever. I'd be like, I will pay for you to come to the gym. You just sign the waiver, and we'll see what's up. And no one has taken me up on the offer yet, so I feel like, I 100% agree. They're not saying that shit to your face.
I stopped doing it. I got a couple.
It's a waste of time, right?
I got a couple death threats on this thing, early on. So my reply was like, yeah, here's the address, dude. Fucking come do it. And then I started walking to my truck one night. I was like, oh shit, dude, what if this motherfucker's really here, dude?
Yeah, it is crazy, man. I feel it honestly, sometimes it's one of those things I can't think about too long, like where we're at as a society, because it does make me sad. Because I do think, I try to think like most people are just trying their best to make their way, and some people are just fucking it up for the rest of them.
I don't think we're as bad off as we think we are. I think we are in certain areas.
I just think the voices, like he said, are the loudest, right?
Yeah.
The ones that fucking are the problem, are the loudest.
Everybody's
and that's
got a
all you
platform
hear.
now,
Because no one wants to,
including me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no one wants to hear the guy that's like, I think we can all just get along, everything be cool. That doesn't make good TV. That doesn't make good ratings, right?
No.
You want someone who's like, no, fuck them, right?
Yeah,
like,
it'd be much better if I got KO'd by you during this episode, so we can like get
Go
more
viral,
views,
yeah.
right? Like that's not.
yeah,
I don't know.
It's an interesting
Yeah,
thing.
I think getting caught up in that viral world, I guess, is kind of what I was getting at with Instagram and shit. It's just like you should genuinely be yourself, man. Like, you don't need to be.
That's sometimes why, like,
Whether you're liked or not.
yeah, I get upset when people like don't like me for whatever reason, because like in my sport especially, like it's a thing to just be a character, to build your brand, to get better opportunities, but that's not who you are, right? Like you're just this, like Colby's not that way. If you meet Colby, he's a pretty cool guy. He's like a normal, down to earth dude, but he has this character he plays to get all this attention. I don't do that.
Greeting virgins.
Yeah, exactly. Nerds and virgins. Yeah,
or
like,
whatever
that's so
it is.
played out, but it gets him what he wants, right? Like it gets him the engagement. People hate me, and I'm like, dude, what you see is what that's who I am. I don't have the bandwidth to have a character and then also try to like be locked in for a
God,
fight.
that must be so hard to be.
I don't know how he
Connor and
does
have
it.
to, like,
Yeah, like I'm gonna play this character, and then on fight night, I'm gonna be
how
ready
does
to
that
go.
shit not get in the way of your performance, man? Like you can't tell me that.
It's got to,
some
right?
point,
For me,
I would
I
think.
know it would. I can't do
Yeah.
that. So like, I'm very genuine, and people are like, "Fuck you." I'm like, "You just don't like me, then," like, because that's who I am. Like, I'm not
Right.
playing a character. So that's sometimes a difficult thing too. But like I said, you just got to realize like these guys have nothing better to do most of the time.
When
right?
does that in your career start presenting itself as an option?
to
Where
be
you
a character.
To be a character.
I told Coach after this, I told you're definitely gonna get some comments on this. I told Coach after this last fight that I was gonna hop on a podcast or something, be like, fuck Jacob Malkoon. I'll fight that pussy again. I already finished him in the first round. Like he told me just embrace full heel. But I couldn't do it, man. Like I said, I feel like part of it too is like what we were talking about earlier. Like if my granddad saw me do that, he'd be like, what the fuck are you doing, you dumbass? Right? And so like I could never be this thing, because even in my interviews, like I think I said I said like shit or something. I know my mom was like at home like, why did he say that? Like why would he say that? You know what I mean? Like it just I try to be mindful, right? Like to the best of my ability, but because everything growing up was, this is going to reflect on our family. Everything you do is going to reflect on our family. Now I have this huge platform that I never thought I'd have. And I'm like, I could really fuck things up for our family if I don't do right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So try to do right for sure.
Yeah, no, I've even done it here on this podcast. Just like I'm genuinely just myself. But even when I go back and listen to it, or when I was doing some editing, which I don't really listen to it that much, and I'll be blatantly honest, I hate listening to my own voice, which is pretty bad. But
my wife's that same way. She won't watch any of her old interviews. She's like, turn that shit off. I'm like, all right.
When I go back and listen to it, I'm like, God, did you have to say fuck right there? Really? Like, I'm like that old man. You know?
I'll
it's so
definitely,
crass, dude.
I'll
It's so crass.
I'll definitely
you know?
do that after I watch it. I'm like,
But it's hard when you're in the moment. Like, that's why I only do them in person anymore. So
that's
that way
cool.
the F-bombs are genuine. You know what I mean? It's like,
only bring back genuine F-bombs. Yeah, fuck it.
Hell yeah. Cody, man, this has been super awesome. Ton of fun. We're going on 2+ hours right now, so we're gonna wrap this up. I want to be respectful of you and your family's time, dude, and thank you so much for coming in, especially after this high, impressive, badass weekend.
Fuck yeah.
Super cool. And wishing you the best of luck in anything moving forward in MMA too, dude. Like but I guess before we jump off, what do you got coming up? I know you're just coming off this fight, literally this past weekend.
Yeah.
What is there anything in the?
I'm hoping March. I'm hoping I can get back in March, but I'm gonna give myself the holidays just with the family.
Yeah,
and,
perfect timing.
Yeah, we're gonna hit up Michigan, so we're gonna drive up to Michigan. I'm flying out actually as soon as I get there to Vegas to corner Dustin and then be there for Brandon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so then I'll fly back to Michigan, be there through Christmas. I'm gonna go to South Carolina through the New Year, and then I'm back, and I'll be back to training, and hopefully can get booked in March. That's my plan, but we'll see.
Hell yeah. Let's go. And then, are you still doing some commentary and stuff? Like, what do you got going on outside of the UFC?
I do commentary for Colorado Combat Club. They're like a local promotion.
Is that with Jordan? And
yeah.
Shout out Jordan.
My
Love
boy,
that dude.
Yeah, he's a great dude. He's actually the one that put me on it.
Is Frim doing that with you guys too?
It's us three.
So it's the three of you guys?
Yeah, the
That's
three
badass,
the three stooges.
I want to come out to one of those. You guys got to let me know.
Yeah,
I'll come
for
out
sure.
just to support.
I'm actually gonna miss the next one because it's December 15th. I'll be in Vegas,
okay.
but they try to do one like every month, so we'll definitely get you out there. But yeah, that's something I enjoy doing, and I love calling fights. I think it's like it's a cool way to be around the sport without like having to get punched in the face. So
Hell yeah,
that's always good.
Yeah, and you're ringside, right?
Yeah,
like
best seats in the house.
It is the best. Yeah, hell yeah. All right, awesome. Instagram handles, websites. You got any merch, anything like that? Like, how do people support you?
Instagram's Cody_Brundage_. Twitter's Cody Brundage 185, and then I have some merch. It's on this site called Millions. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they work with quite a few.
I forgot to ask you about that. That was actually on my list of stuff. Because if you have a little bit more time, what is that? Is that it's like a watch party type thing or something?
They started doing watch parties, but then they also added like merch that they created, and I don't know like how it's funded or what, but my management's kind of the ones that hooked me up with it. Yeah, so this is my Millions page.
So is it just fighters that are on this, or
I think all
like
athletes? I think they have like some college athletes. They have some, so they got
Thug Nasty,
John Anik.
Oh, I love John Anik, man.
Yeah, so they got a pretty good contingency of people, and it seems like they're running some good stuff. Yeah.
Joe Montana, though, shit,
maybe buy some of his stuff. Yeah, it seems like
no, look on the left. You've got all kinds of stuff here.
Yeah. So find Cody's profile then, and then what people can buy stuff on here that directly supports you? Is it like
I think if you go to shop,
I don't want to compare it to OnlyFans, but is there any similarity?
I think it's kind of like that, yeah. Because like all this merch you can buy off of my feed, and then if I have like any watch parties coming up, they'll post them in here, and you can kind of get on there and ask me questions, interact with me. Yeah, I'm gonna add some stuff actually to it, like some gloves from fights and like my own like memorabilia, not just merch that they made. So it's a cool thing. It makes it kind of streamlined and easy. Instead of me having to go out and like do all the work of like creating merch and things like that. So
hell yeah, that's awesome. Let us know when you're doing the next one. We'll get on and support you or give you a shout out, dude. We're all about supporting you, our family at Factory X, and
appreciate you.
Your guys' family as well. So
yeah, thanks for having me, man. Like I said, I was looking forward to being on here, and I didn't disappoint. So I appreciate you.
Hell yeah, dude. You're welcome back anytime. We do this. Now that you've been on, I try to have recurring guests. Like I think Dustin's been on a couple times. Coach has been on 2 or 3 times. And yeah, dude, I love having you guys back in. And it's a little community, and like, you guys are family, man. So anybody that really wants to come on down there, you're welcome anytime. So
appreciate
let's
you,
go.
brother.
Let's go, El Guapo. Let's get you in here, dog.
My boy.
I love that shirt.
Hell yeah. This is my favorite one. I think they did it the
best.
That's
badass.
Anthony Smith, El Guapo this weekend.
Yeah, let's go. Thanks for listening to the Mountainside Podcast. If you haven't had a chance to do this already, please take a moment, follow, like, subscribe, or rate on whatever platform you catch the Mountainside Podcast at. If you'd like some more information on upcoming episodes, safety tips, access to all of our affiliates, and all the badass discounts that we get here at the Mountainside Podcast, check out themountainsidepodcast.com.